What is up, guys? Wallow J here, and I'm here with my co-host, who doesn't know we were live.
Hi. Art of War. Behind the boards, producer Chris.
Hello.
Of course, Matadora Roja.
What's up?
And a special guest.
Special guest.
Yeah.
Could you please introduce yourself? Explain why you're here. No, I'm just kidding. Austen Lane, man. Super having. This is your second time here with us, correct? Yep. Beautiful. So you got some big news. Do we want to jump right into this? How do we want to do this? I'm so excited. I had some coffee. I might be a little jittery.
Well,
I'm all hopped up on energy.
See, he came in, like 3 weeks ago? And he kind of gave us a little hint. Yeah. We're like, don't worry, we won't say nothing. Yeah. The next week we see it on online. We're like, shit.
I know. Spoiler alert. Yeah. Everybody, because literally it started posting on Facebook. I think Channel 4 was the first place I saw it posted. And then I freaking sent a screenshot and messaged it while I was like, they scooped us. We've been sitting on it for like 3 weeks.
Well, and the funny thing is it first got announced on the last UFC pay-per-view, which was in Brazil. No, and I guess they announced it during the pay-per-view. I wasn't watching that one because usually, we go to the ale house, we go out to a sports bar, we watch it.
Right.
Honestly, the card wasn't that great to me to go out and watch and kind of support. Yeah. So I was sleeping. So all of a sudden, around probably 11:30, midnight, my phone just goes off the hook, and I'm like, "Who's all calling me and stuff?" And it turns out they announced it on there. So the one UFC pay-per-view I don't even watch is when they announced my fight.
Oh man. You know what's funny though? Most fighters don't find anything out till they read Twitter. Apparently,
exactly.
So that's huge.
What was his name? Yair Rodriguez got released over Twitter.
Cold-blooded.
Well, sorry, he found out that he was released over.
He said
Twitter.
Fake news, and Dana White was like, "Real news." Oh,
which was another reason why I want to keep it under wraps with the whole announcement thing, because if that would have got out from you guys first or something, it would have been all right. Austen Lane, time to turn your papers.
We didn't even tell him.
We did. Literally, the only pig pull that we talked to about it was me and Wallow talked back and forth about it.
What he didn't know, what they didn't know, is I actually knew before them. I was sworn to secrecy.
I don't know what
Zach, I assume, right? Yeah, for sure.
I had an idea when I saw the video that Matt posted, and you were at the UFC training center, and I'm like, let's see. They don't let everybody just come in off the street and, do a photo shoot and, all that stuff that you guys were doing. I'm like, there's something going on.
Yeah.
So did they see you in Myrtle Beach? Is that what it was or what?
You know what? I honestly couldn't even tell you. Mick Maynard hit Matt up, my manager, and said, we're interested in Austen fighting Greg Hardy. Originally, Greg had a different opponent who was ranked a little higher than I was.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I've never heard he backed out if it was due to injury or just due to a time restraint. So then after he backed out is when they gave me the call.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then your response was automatically, yes.
Not even close, actually. So it's kind of a funny story. Yeah. So Matt calls me up and he's like, hey, Dana White's Contender Series, you down? I'm like, obviously. He's like, there's a catch though. And obviously Matt knows my schedule. And he said it's June 12th. And immediately my heart kind of sank a little bit because me and my wife were supposed to do our honeymoon. So the fight's on Tuesday, the previous weekend. So that Thursday through Saturday was going to be our honeymoon.
Yeah.
We were going to go to Manchester, Tennessee, which is home of Bonnaroo. So we're going to do a music festival there.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to do that. So Matt called me. I'm like, yeah, I'm totally in, obviously, but let me ask my wife first, because at the end of the day, happy wife, happy life, right?
Of course.
So I basically sent my wife a text message. She's at her job. She works at a natural health clinic. I said, hey, babe, I'm gonna come by your work. Can we talk a couple seconds? So she's probably worried about something else is going on now or something serious. So, obviously I go to the clinic and I meet up with her and I'm like, I got some really good news and maybe some not so good news. So I'm like, what do you want first? And she's like, well, tell me the good news first. I'm like, all right, bold decision. So I tell her, hey, I got Dana White's Contender Series. And, obviously she's ecstatic for me. Yeah. But then I'm like, well, don't be too excited because it's actually going to be kind of during our honeymoon for Bonnaroo. And she's like, what are you even talking about? Who cares? Like, there's other music festivals. Like, this is what you're working for. This is part of your end goal. She's like, why are we even having this conversation? So she was like super supportive, more than I even thought she was going to be. I thought she would have been proud and excited, but a part of her would have been like kind of disappointed that we didn't have, the honeymoon. But no, she couldn't have been any more happy and ecstatic for me. So that was really cool. So once she said that, I got her blessing, then it was, it was
That's
good
nice.
to go.
And how much sweeter will it be once you win and then you go on the honeymoon just a little bit later?
Exactly, right? I mean, there's tons of music festivals all over the country, all over the
absolutely.
world. So, yeah, we can do something else.
You're like, get a little smile, go do whatever. Yeah, that's cool.
So what do we know about Craig Hardy? He's former football player, just like yourself.
Mhm.
He's, 3-0 as an amateur, and this would be his first pro fight?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Now, funny, the one thing that's pretty funny, though, that Amanda noticed immediately, she was like, has anybody put the connection together that he was a Carolina Panther, Austin's
What's the
Jacksonville Jaguar,
Yeah.
and the rivalry that we used to have
It continues.
way back in the day
Yeah.
between the two. So she was like, ooh, that's going to bring in even more people.
Well, so we were drafted together as well. We were at the combine together. We got drafted the exact same year.
Oh, wow.
I went a little before he did. I think he went in the 7th round. I went in the 5th round. So, we're at the combine together. Obviously, I know who he is already. And when I heard he was doing MMA, I was, following his career because I figured once he was done playing football full time, we would probably meet up in the cage at some point. I thought it'd be later in his career and in my career, but it's happening now. So be it.
Cool.
And that is kind of a fun story too, right? So 2 former NFL players turn MMA, both have like knockout records. You know what I mean? Meeting for the big show. Ooh, I'm so excited! I'm so excited.
Like, I'm thinking about not going to class that day. Sorry, bro.
Hey, I'm probably not going to go to the class that day either.
I mean, I'm like, it's either I go to class and possibly miss it or not go to class. I'm probably not going to go to class.
Yeah, because it's good.
Wait. What time does that start?
I think it's like 8:30 or 9.
Yeah.
8:30. We'll just cut it out at 8. We'll cut class out at 8.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and then we'll just shoot on over there.
Well, we can start class early then.
Yeah.
Maybe
We'll make it work. We're there to support
Appreciate
you, my
it.
friend.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Super excited about that. So yeah, man. So let's talk a little bit about your training. How's that going? What are the things you're doing for preparation? Anything different?
Sure. So even before this fight got announced, I was still doing 2-a-days just for the fact that we figured we're going to have a fight, whether it was Dana White's Contender Series, another fight in maybe Myrtle Beach, or even for Combat Night, hopefully in June, if not in May. So, we were training twice a day. So once that fight got announced, we're like, all right, cool. I mean, we're kind of already in fight camp. So let's just, let's start basing stuff off what Greg does well and what we need to counter and what we need to attack. And then we'll go on from there. So it was, as far as like setting the fight camp up, it was already in place.
Yeah.
So all those pieces were there. So it was just a matter of showing up every single day and putting my heart into it.
So with what he does well, I mean, we only seen him like being able to fight 3 different times. Have you been able to pick that apart? What do you think he does well? What do you think he doesn't really do well?
I mean, yeah. So you basically said, here's the thing. He only has 3 amateur fights, and I think his longest fight might have been a minute. So I literally have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds of film to watch of him. It's kind of hard to get a basis of what his traits are and what he does in the cage. From what I've seen, obviously he's a striker. All his fights have come by KO. He comes forward. He can also go straight back. Doesn't look too comfortable going backwards. And as far as his athleticism, he doesn't really use angles that well, from what I've seen. Now, granted, I mean, like I said, that's 3 amateur fights. And he's come, I'm sure, a long way. So at the end of the day, we're kind of game planning for what he's going to bring. And obviously, I've seen some things on tape I'm not going to share.
Absolutely.
But and especially in the fight game, man, it's more about what I do. It's controlling what I can control. What I bring to the table and not making mistakes and capitalizing off the mistakes that he makes.
Absolutely.
Well, you've had more fights than he has, but he could probably say the same thing as far as he doesn't have much video to watch of you.
No, true. Well, true. And, the video he does, I mean, it's funny. Like, I see my amateur fights, man, and like, I have the beard and I have the dreads, but I don't even recognize that guy sometimes. I'm like, what was I doing, So, obviously, I think I progressed as a fighter from my first couple amateur fights that are out there on YouTube. When you compare me and Greg, I mean, we're pretty much the same height. I might have him by maybe 1 or 2 inches. I think the reach is going to be the same. I think he outweighs me by maybe 15 pounds or so. Nothing too major, especially at the heavyweight level.
Yeah.
But where I have the obviously distinct advantage of is the fact that I have the experience. This is going to be my 11th time going into a cage. This is going to be his 4th. This is his first pro fight. So when we're talking about experience, I mean, that's a huge factor because you can spar and, you can wear 18-ounce gloves with headgear and shin pads, and that's great. I mean, that's great work. But when you're talking about going into a cage with 4-ounce gloves, nothing, and it's a different beast. It's a different animal. So I think I definitely have the advantage when it comes to that.
What are you expecting to be weighing when you get in there?
So ideally, probably like 245 pounds.
That's
Obviously,
the sweet spot.
Yeah, that's kind of right in the sweet spot, right in the wheelhouse. If I'm a little lower, so be it. A little higher, that's fine too. it's all about how your body feels. You know, I
Absolutely.
mean, that's one of the luxuries of being a heavyweight is the fact that I don't have to cut anything. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Well, and also like you're still in amazing shape. It's not like you're holding excess adipose, you know. You know what I mean? You're not fat by any means,
Yeah.
you know. And you live that fighter lifestyle, and you live that athletic lifestyle. I think I saw a study somewhere or read something there, and they're talking about the different heavyweight weights. You know, in the 140, 145 pound range is the super sweet spot. These guys are even
Talking about
coming.
245.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry,
Yeah.
245.
He kill a 145.
He's like, I smack him.
He
On
might
accident.
break at 145.
That would be like would be like me going in.
Yeah. Ooh, that would be no.
It's like the head
just
might
gonna
roll
be
up the
running.
shoulders.
So yeah,
gonna run that
240,
circle.
245 pounds, but like versus like a 260 or 270 pounder, you know what I mean? I think it's like 265 is like the cutoff. But like it seems to be that like your speed is there, your power's still there. You're able to do a lot more. I think it's a really good weight for you to be at.
And that's a great point. I mean, you kind of look at the evolution, especially in the UFC. I mean, back in the days, it was about weighing 265 pounds and actually cutting weight.
Yeah.
You know, you look like the Brock Lesnar's, you know, the Ubereems back in the day, you know, like
Yeah.
those guys, I mean, those guys had to cut just to make 265. And that was kind of the trend, was the fact that, you know, if you can overpower your opponent, you're probably going to win. You know, like Mark Coleman was another good example of that. But nowadays, the trend seems, especially with USADA and all the supplements,
For sure.
which I can
That
talk to
horse
about-
meat.
Well, which I mean, I finally got to meet Steve Nowitzki.
Oh, the
man,
golden
we-
snitch?
Oh, dude, we had a conversation. Man, it was crazy. Like,
Really?
I'll talk about that later. Remind me to talk about that.
Yeah.
But getting back to my point where, yeah, now, son, you see the trend where it's more of like the 230, 235 range, like the Stipe's. Even Daniel Cormier's moving up, and he's probably going to weigh like 230. It's more about just the footwork, the movement, and the precision striking as opposed to, you know, 265 and gassing yourself out because you have so much muscle you're carrying.
Yeah, you get that 1.5 rounds in you, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh.
I mean, a great example would be Francis Ngannou that when he fought Stipe.
And
Yeah,
Gano, and what was
totally.
his name? The engineer. He was 12-0, and Brock beat him by like a
Oh,
hair.
Carwin?
Shane
Shane
Carwin.
Carwin,
Yeah,
Carwin, yeah.
he gassed himself out
Yeah.
just punching Brock on the
That
ground. And
first
then
round.
Yeah.
second round came out, it's like he had nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing to it.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. Those 5 minutes. People are like, oh, it's only 5 minutes. But man, when you're putting 100% effort
Yeah.
in, you got, oh man, it feels like an eternity. And 10 seconds past your max effort or your max capability is
Oh, yeah.
10 seconds. That might as well be an hour.
But
Yeah.
It's so long.
but you usually, you know what, people that make those kind of comments, they never had a fight, so they really don't know.
Truly.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's 5 minutes. Have you grappled?
And
He was
or
at the-
sparred?
adrenaline
he was at the
and
stand at a
everything
bar
else.
watching UFC. I kicked that dude's ass.
Oh, I know.
Just
That's
get
the best.
up. Just get up.
Well, then the best even on Twitter now is, you know, the fight got announced and people will chime in like, hey, I saw Greg's Hardy tape. You should try to do a single leg on him and try to choke him out because I bet his ground game's not that good. And these are just, you know, keyboard warriors
Yeah.
who have probably never put on a gi, have never been on the mat before. And they're trying to give me advice, and which, you know, I mean, I appreciate it. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, unless you've been in a cage, man, it's kind of hard to give advice to somebody.
Very, very
They just
hard.
want
Yeah.
you to win.
I was just gonna say that, and that's actually kind of cool. You know, you got that many people, like
Mhm.
a lot of positive vibes, a lot of positive energy
Mhm.
behind you. Have you felt any kind of negativity whatsoever? I think
There's always
I think-
haters.
I think Craig Hardy's kind of the heel in this
Well,
fight.
I
if I'm
mean,
not mistaken, right?
let's not beat around the bush here at all.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing with Greg is the fact that he's had some cases brought against him in his past that people aren't a fan of, and
Yeah.
rightfully so. You know, I've done a few interviews now, and I've been asked about the whole, you know, where he supposedly beat up his girlfriend and things like that, and my opinion on it.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly, yeah, because
Yeah.
I think the court case got thrown out, whatever. As far as that's concerned, you know, at the end of the day, he's got to look himself in the mirror with what he's done.
Yeah.
If it's good, bad, or indifferent. So if I was to focus on the type of person he is, that's going to take away energy from my training, my energy from me preparing for him as an opponent, as an MMA fighter. So when we step in the cage, the MMA gods don't care what he's done in his past, right? The MMA gods don't care his beliefs, and they don't care about anything. All they care about is the art form. So that's what I'm concerned about. Maybe when this fight's done, maybe I'll have an opinion about his past and things like that, but I'm just so focused on him as a fighter that I can't put energy and time and effort into his life as a person.
or any kind of negativity for that matter.
Yeah,
right?
if that makes sense. And I get it. People are trying to hype it up, and
Totally.
they're trying to make him the heel, like you said, trying to make me the good guy. And if that's what it is, then so be it. I mean, I'm glad to get new fans, and if this is the way to go about it, then so be it. But at the end of the day, I'm just preparing for him as a fighter.
Well, I'll say it for everybody. You're the good guy.
Thanks, man.
You are a good guy, man. The first day I met you, so like we're over at where was it? Where were we at?
Well,
It was at a fight. was
well,
down south.
so I
somewhere. Was
think
it Orlando?
I met you. We actually introduced each other here, but
Yeah.
then I saw you like the next week would have been at the fights at Combat Night. But I mean, I saw you in passing and stuff.
No, it was over. I want to say it was in Orlando because I had flew back from Colorado and I was cornering one of my
Javonis's
fighters,
fight.
Javonis's fighter.
Oh,
And then I
that's
saw you,
right.
and I was like,
yeah,
I recognized
you're
you,
right.
and I was like,
Yep.
and, actually, we had a conversation about this previously, though, and I was like, hey, Austin, my name's Art, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man, I hope you don't think I'm talking about football, because I don't know shit about football,
which is even more why I liked you, man.
Yeah, it was sweet. I was like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I'm not a normal sports dude, but we have the same tattoo artist.
Exactly.
BlackmanTattoo.com. If you don't know, get better now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so like everything that Nick had said was 100% right, and you are such a positive dude, man. Like every time I see you, I get happier.
Yeah, I
I'm
saw
happy to-
I saw a post that you shared on Facebook, and I was like, this guy is just such a stand up guy, and it was some sort of a post at New Year's Eve,
Oh yeah.
and you said
yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
make it to the UFC, and I was like, you sure did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
So
yeah, talk about that.
So talk about that. Yeah. So that would have been January 1st, 2015. I was just with the Bears. I just got cut. It was New Year's Eve. I played in Chicago, so I was back home in Wisconsin hanging out with some friends and stuff like that on New Year's. And you know how Wisconsin gets down. Everyone's getting drunk and everything in the towny bars. And I pretty much played that part as well and did some drinking and everything. And about 1:45 came around and, you know, I'm not ashamed to admit it, but I was feeling sorry for myself. And this is probably the last time I felt sorry for myself in a long time. And it was just the fact that I was coming to grips with the terms that I probably wouldn't be playing football again. You know, and this is a sport that I played since I was, you know, in third grade. So,
Yeah.
it was kind of a hard pill to swallow, you know, and granted, I'm around friends and I'm still having a good time, but a part of me was just like, damn, like this is probably going to be it. So, Matt texted me Happy New Year, my MMA coach, and he was such an integral, you know, such a huge proponent of just helping me out through the process of trying to get on another NFL team and trying to, you know, because it's hard. It's easy once you get drafted and you're starting, everything's gravy, man. But once you're like on the outside looking in and you're trying to find a team, it's kind of a rough situation. So just having Matt there for MMA, you know, like I'd go to the MMA gym and I won't be thinking about football anymore. I'd be thinking about MMA and just having fun. So I text someone like, man, you know, I decided right there, I'm like, Matt, one day we're going to go to the UFC, man, and we're going to tear this shit up.
Yeah.
And you know, he obviously says like, oh, that's great, man. He's like, you know, I think he was something like, whatever you decide to do, you're going to do great because you have good character. And, you know, that's what I needed to hear at the time. So, yeah, I mean, sitting at, I forgot what bar, I think it was just called Anduzzi. Sitting at Anduzzi's at 1:45 in the morning, I decided I was going to be a UFC fighter.
So that was the day.
That was the day.
And you had no fights at that point.
No, I had 0 fights. Like I said, I was just training in the off season.
Just a couple jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Just a couple jiu-jitsu tournaments.
That you used to
Ducking
run
out
through the
so-
back
Yeah.
doors.
Yeah, exactly. So
they don't get paid.
yeah, so you know, it was New Year's, and I flew back to Jacksonville, and I told Matt like, here, training camp starts. I forgot when like the spring ball was. I think it was like in March or something like that. I'm like, if I don't get a call by March, it's done. I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna turn in my papers, and we're gonna train MMA full time, and we're gonna take a fight. And you know, probably 2 months later, I took my first fight, and here I am now.
And you knocked them out silly.
Yeah.
So the one in March, it went a little longer than you normally do.
No, for sure.
What did you figure out from that fight?
So, you know, that was a great fight because I learned a lot when it came to selecting my shots. When I go in the cage, I have the mindset that any punch that I land on your chin or on your face is going to knock you out.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's the right mentality to have, but that's what's worked for me in the past, you know.
Well,
so,
you were 8-0 at the time.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
8
yeah.
knockouts.
Yeah, so, you know, obviously I go in the cage, and the guy that I was fighting, Ben Rowland, he was ranked higher than I was. I think he was number 7 or 6 in the region at the time.
Not anymore.
Yeah, so he was, he was up there, and he had a lot of hype coming around him as well. So, right when the bell rang and we tapped gloves, I felt hesitation. I felt like he was a little nervous or a little scared or something. I could just sense that. Because every fight that I've watched him, he came forward and he was swinging for the fences. This fight, I could just see it in his eyes where he was hesitating. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting, because the game plan was for him to come at me, be patient, stay long, and just take my shots. He wasn't coming at me. I'm like, screw it, plan's out the window. I'm just going to go downhill and go at him because he's not going to be expecting it. So, you know, basically what happens is I go downhill and I unleash hell on him and ended up breaking his eye socket. But in that process, I realized that, I mean, I probably let go out of the clinch maybe 12, 13 good shots of everything that I had. I was gassed after that. You know, anytime that you put everything you have into every single shot that you throw, you're going to get gas. And it doesn't matter how much preparation you have, how much cardio you have. If you unleash everything you have in a small burst like that, your recovery time is going to need at least about a minute. So I unleashed and I got a little winded. I'm not going to lie. So I think just the shot selection is what I learned from that fight. And obviously I still won and everything was great.
Yeah.
And everything was cool, but I definitely learned a lot too.
Yeah, I saw that he won a third round, right?
No, it was his first round.
Idiot. I'm gonna shut up now.
Well, no, so there's a drill that we do for MMA a lot of times, and it's so like let's say a 3-minute or a 5-minute round or whatever. So you have the guys doing their round on the bag like typical or with each other a typical, and then that last minute before the 1 minute rest
burnout.
round, burnout, and it's like 100% hard as you can for 60 seconds, and you have to be able to do that, and then you have 60 seconds to recover, and then you start back into your like normal.
No, that's
stuff like that.
That's definitely what we started incorporating in this camp, as well as doing the burnouts and then going to right to a spar. So you burn out for maybe like 30 seconds of your last rep on the heavy bag, and then you go spar right away because your arms are full of lactic acid, and you gotta maintain
Heavy.
Yeah,
the arms get heavy.
Oh yeah, arms get heavy. Yep.
Shit.
When he
says last 30 seconds, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do this.
His 30 seconds lasts at least 60 though.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 3 minutes, is it?
I put him. So
No, that's 3 minutes of death.
The 3 minutes of death is something
Which
different.
is a great title.
3 minutes of death is something different. So
Great title.
That's just the end of the class.
Oh yeah, hopefully. Yeah, not the beginning.
It's death for a reason.
Yeah,
I think you should
you don't
be dead
kick
by
off
the end
the-
of it.
the
Let's
starting
not
fast with that.
Yeah. So those burnout rounds are super important. I think, especially for MMA or any kind of striking form, especially. And then death rounds, that's fun. And usually that's just like, it's down ups continually for 3 minutes while the guy runs by you with a shield, and you either got 10 round kicks, teeps, punches, all that kind of stuff. And you just kind of run through the line. But it's just basically putting you in that uncomfortable lactic acid overfloated zone and then trying to recover afterwards. I don't know. So that's kind of cool that you're incorporating the burnout rounds as far as.
Yeah, we incorporate a lot of stuff because with MMA, there's so many different possibilities of how to gas yourself out. You got the grappling, you got the jiu-jitsu, you got the clinch work, getting tight in space, and then you got, staying wide and just throwing punches. So it's all about trying to find that sweet spot of where you got to train the lactic acid, but you got to train the explosiveness as well in short spaces. You got to train the cardio, the endurance, and all those systems are different, So it's about finding, that right combination, that right formula. And I think we pretty much got it dialed in now.
Yeah. Oh, that's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dealing with those down ups, that's a totally different, you know what I mean? It's just.
Don't talk to me.
At the end, they're like, but why are we doing all these down ups? But that's the reason why. Every time that your coach has you doing something, it's for a specific reason. It's not just to make you miserable.
I feel like everybody hates those, and it's for a reason.
I don't know. I think he does. I think he does hate us sometimes.
Well, I always start out strong on the 3 minutes of death.
As you should.
The first, but man, come the end, I'm literally like down. And then one leg up, then the next leg up, and then I'm getting up, and then down, because I'm. That's the only one that makes me run out before. That would make me run out the gym, head out the back door.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go puke.
This week
Puke and rally.
I figured a rhythm with it. Like I would almost gauge how long it was taking to go down the line for you to go, and everybody do whatever. And I was just put like a rhythm, and not like killing myself to the start. So that I can last through the whole.
Thanks for
3
sharing.
minutes.
No, yeah, see, that's not the goal.
I'm just getting back into it.
Sold yourself out.
I am dying.
Sold yourself out.
No, but
now
I'm just
I know
getting
you
back
get
into
extra.
it.
Now
3 minutes of death, more like 5 minutes.
5 minutes of
Get
death.
it.
Did you see what you did?
But no,
You play
because
yourself, player.
no.
Thanks, Sherry.
I just get back into training,
Yeah.
and I'm already killing myself. I'm trying to last a little bit longer between injuries, so.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing is, though, is because of those 3 minutes of death, since I had meetings this week up in Cary, I actually did take my workout clothes.
Yeah.
And so normally I'm at the gym, Thursday. So Thursday afternoon, we had our meeting, get done with the meeting. We had about 2 hours before we had to go to our optional but mandatory team dinner. So I went ahead and hit the gym, the little bullshit gym they got down there. I think I did 25 minutes on the treadmill, did some leg lift sit-ups on their little bench with a weight ball, and then set my timer and did 3 minutes of just up downs until I was dead.
Nice.
Nice. Well, that's good.
And then sat there. Then the rest of the guys are sitting there looking at me like, "Why?" Are
No,
you
he
doing
didn't. It was more like 30 seconds.
No,
of
I
death.
did. I did.
Why are you doing this? You're like, you're right, sir. Why am I doing this? I'm going, oh, I'm not.
That's what the guys asked me. He's like, "Man, why are you doing that?" I was like, "Because I know when I go back to the gym come Monday, instead of completely sucking, I'm only going to mildly suck."
Mildly so, yeah.
That's okay. We got some stuff that's going to make you suck.
Oh, I'm sure.
So that kind of goes into the point of staying consistent. Have you ever found during your training camps that it's hard for you to get up to motivate yourself, or are you just like self-driven, or do you have this, like certain techniques to do it? Did your coach, is he calling you? How's this work for you?
So thankfully I've always been self-motivated.
Yeah.
I don't really even drink caffeine or anything like that. You know,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I've never, for whatever reason, like caffeine has a crazy effect on my body where I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Oh wow.
And we're talking like the smallest doses. Like I'll have some green tea every once in a while.
Mhm.
If I was to put like 3 packets of green tea in 1 cup, I would probably be flipping out.
cracked out.
Yeah, I just cracked
That
out. So
tachycardia,
yeah, so
yeah.
I definitely don't do caffeine. So I'm definitely self-motivated. Yeah, there's a few things I kind of go in my training to keep me balanced. Obviously, sleep is probably the most important thing. I try to get at least 8 hours a night.
Nice.
And that's easily said than done because, you know, I have a son who's 3 years old and I got a family. So sometimes it'll be like in the 6-7 hour range, but I always try to take a nap during the day if I can and things like that. And that seems to be helping out a lot.
Nice.
Another big thing is meditation that I think definitely gets neglected. I mean, in the NFL, I never meditated because it was always kind of a stigma like, oh, it's for yoga people and it's for those types of people. Meditation has had huge benefits on my performance. I always meditate in the morning when I wake up, just visualization, positive stuff like that, and then before I go to bed at night.
So do you have quick question? Do you have like a zone? You're like, you wake up out of the bed, you know, brush your teeth, whatever, and you have like a mat or something like that.
So yeah, I mean, I'll kind of take you through the whole routine.
Yeah.
You know, so I get up in the morning, usually like around 8 a.m. or so, and the first thing I do is the Wim Hof technique. Are you familiar with that?
Yep.
The breathing.
Yep.
So I do the Wim Hof technique, which people don't know. You can probably go online and find it pretty easily. It's the whole principle is the fact that you take 30 deep breaths in and out, and then you hold it for as long as you can. My record right now is 2:45.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I hold my breath basically for 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and that's kind of a form of meditation. So I just do that. I do some stretches, and then I just kind of center myself, and I sit Indian style on the floor, and I just kind of think about, all right, I need to do this today. I need to do this today. Training, I need to work on this. The last training session, I need to do this. You know, stuff like that. Just kind of replay the last training session, things like going on in my day, you know, the up and coming day and things like that. And then at night, I just kind of recalibrate and I think of the training session I just had and I just go over like what I need to work on, my techniques and things like that. And then obviously, you know, visualization, like positive stuff, like, you know, going in that cage of Dana White's Contender Series, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to see. And that's had huge benefits in my training, I feel like. Because, you know, you think about it, like, we rest all our muscles all the time, but our brains are always going. Whether we're dreaming, whether we're just resting, I mean, our minds are always racing. So anytime you can get us maybe 10 minutes out of the day just to relax and just turn everything off, I highly recommend it.
Try to clear the head the best
Center
that you
yourself.
can.
Yeah. So I feel like sleep, meditation, then obviously just, you know, the foam rolling, the ice baths, the Epsom salt baths, things like that.
For your recovery.
Yep. Help me out as well.
Now, have you tried the like cryotherapy?
I have tried cryotherapy. Yeah, you know, I think it's a great tool. Me personally, I like the ice baths a little better because they suck more.
Yeah.
So
embrace the suck.
No, exactly. I feel like both are super helpful in aiding in recovery and I think they call it the inflammatory process or whatever. Yep. I think both are super good with that, but I feel like the ice bath is just more, you have to be mentally tough with that. So anytime I can get in the ice bath, or even my pool's super cold right now, so I just jump in the pool for 30 minutes and just kind of move around. I take advantage of that.
Yeah, because on the cry, you're only there for what, 2-3 minutes
3
at
minutes.
the most?
Yeah, it's 3 minutes.
And, you know, if you're taking an ice bath, you're staying in there for how long?
Yeah, usually 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
You know, I made them. So there's a couple different ways you can do your ice bath, right? Well, I went gangster with it, and I threw all this ice in there and just added water, and I jumped in the thing. I was like,
oh yeah, it takes your breath away.
Yeah, I was done. I was like, you know, I'm from Alaska. You know about the Polar Bear Club and all that stuff, right? So I was like, oh, this ain't no thing. I'm from Alaska. Ain't no thing, right? No, dude, sucked the air right out of me. I was like, oh, okay, I don't know if I can last 5 minutes. I'm sure something's gonna get frostbite. I'm sure of it. So I started adding. I'd get in the water like lukewarm, and then I'd add ice.
There you go.
While I'm doing it. So, I mean, I don't know how other people do it, But that's the way I can tolerate the
Well,
last longer than 10
and
minutes.
the biggest pro tip I have for the ice bath is get like some neoprene sleeves for your toes, because
Oh,
like it
yeah.
seems like your toes are like the first ones to get like frostbite or just like
Yeah.
be kind of actually painful.
Yeah.
So get like you can go like on Amazon or whatever and just get like some neoprene sleeves and put them around your toes,
Perfect.
and then then you're good to go, because like your toes for whatever reason get the coldest.
Yeah, it's the most
fastest.
distal from your heart. Doesn't
Yeah.
get blood like everything else
Yep.
does. Yeah.
I
Ooh,
missed
that's
that
a good
about
pro tip.
The
That's a great
gym,
pro tip.
the gym in Gainesville had an ice bath basically, and it was about 50 to 55 degrees. I missed that thing. Used
That's
to
it.
go
We're
out
gonna have a
to-
drum in the back of the gym.
Well, you
Just
can
gonna
you
have
can
ice
go
and
like
water, just
Vanderlei
dunk.
Silva and have that 55-gallon, trash can full of water
Yeah.
and ice,
That's what I'm
and then
talking
just
Hop in,
jump
hop
in
out.
there.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
of course, video it because it doesn't count unless people see it.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, we can get on Instagram or something.
I was there for 5 minutes. You were there for 30 seconds.
So-
I walked
that's
in and
30
this one lady
30 hard
was fully immersed in it, like
Head and
she was
everything?
all the way in, and she said that she gets migraines, and this is the only thing that's helped her.
So
Oh, wow.
I was like, "You're crazy."
So my rookie year with the Jaguars, we had this dude by the name of Mike Lockley, who was also a rookie. He was a free agent. He was a middle linebacker, kind of a crazy dude. And so obviously, we had a giant hot tub, but it was an ice bath. So it was like a giant ice hot tub.
Yeah.
I think it was like maybe like 45 degrees. I'm talking like just to the point of freezing. Because, obviously they had like the coolers at the bottom of the thing. So it's pretty high tech. And that thing was ice cold. And I could barely get up to my neck sometimes. It'd just, be so painful. Somebody bet Lockley, I think it was $200 that he couldn't hold his breath underneath the water for like 2 minutes. And then the dude did it. And it was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Really?
You know,
I
so
thought you
like,
were
I mean,
he
I'm
died.
talking
I was like,
full-
what?
No, and he's not here today now.
He's not here today, but
No,
he's
but-
$200 richer.
No, yeah, he actually did it, and that was it was a crazy experience.
Wow.
That's
What
what
kind
you
of mental
call
fortitude.
locker room shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I could tell
Chris
you.
has a pool.
Well, I could tell you from whenever I did the Tough Mudder down in Orlando. Whenever you get into their little,
Oh my
they,
God.
they call it the
Cold.
Arctic enema.
Yeah.
When you first get in
Oh.
it, because basically it's a
Hey,
it's a
we did it.
dumpster. It's a dumpster with just water and ice. But then they have a barrier in the middle
That you gotta
that you
go
have
under.
to dunk and go
Under.
under.
Yeah.
Oh.
So when I got in, it was cold, but it was totally bearable. It wasn't
Where's
that
the
bad.
enema part coming from? Because,
Yeah,
that
Because
goes in
you
this-
literally, when you jump, because there's no way to work your way in. You have to basically
Bro,
jump in.
I have the sweetest picture that they took when we did it. And it's me, like, there's people around me,
He's
and
like,
I'm
"Wow."
super fly Jimmy Snuka into
did.
it.
Yeah.
Me and Michelle are like, "This is what to do." She was telling me because they've done it before and
Yeah.
I didn't. So she was at the edge of the thing and he was like going already, and she's like, "This is what you got to do. You got to go in, go out, go do."
Splash.
Yeah.
She's like, "Don't take your time, just go."
Well, that
I
was
thought
it.
you were saying I got the best picture, like you're in, and as you're like emerging
No,
the hair
bro.
and the
It's me jumping
water
in
just flying
it.
out.
Dude, it was like, because
Oh, wait,
getting
I went
to the
dramatic with it.
barrier, it was all right. I'm not moving fast, but when I went under and I came up on the other side, I'm doing everything I can to get the hell out of there
Moving much
as
faster.
fast as I
You're soaked in
can.
mud.
So then, how do you feel after that then? Because like I feel like
Oh,
your
feel
body.
great.
Oh, it's
you feel great.
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, like if your body takes a
At
little bit
that
to get
point, I
adjusted
think you still
to
got, like-
running again. Because I feel like you get so shocked that
Yeah.
your body just kind of shut down for a second, and you have to kind of get
Oh,
everything
no,
going
well,
again.
I mean, getting out was a little awkward.
Yeah.
You're a little unsteady.
cold.
Yeah.
But for the next mile, you're like,
good to
man,
go.
I feel good. And then you get to
Regenerated.
the cargo nets and you're like, oh,
We
God.
went
Yeah.
through. I don't know if it was the same spot you did it, but there was like that mile long in
Oh,
the
yeah.
water.
Yeah,
By
up
the-
the creek.
was-
Up
yeah.
the creek.
Yeah.
By the end of that, my whole lower body was cramping, and Wallow walked with me for the majority of the race because my
man.
toes were curling in my shoes and everything was just cramping.
Well, that's the same course I did. And what sucked is once you went a mile up the creek and it went from everywhere from a waist to chest high. Then as you got out, your next obstacle
Is
was
a mud pit.
it was a mud pit with a straight wall on the other
That's-
side.
Yeah,
So that's where I wound up cramping
that's where
my
I cramped the
calf.
first time.
Just went into a knot as I'm trying to climb out of that. So then I had to limp all the way around. I can't remember what
So
the
do you
next
guys
one
train
after
for
that.
this? How does this work?
No, I went. I went in
we-
completely just green.
For my first one, I did.
You did?
I trained
mean-
for about a year.
I used
Oh,
jujitsu.
yeah.
I just had been training jujitsu and weight training or
So,
whatever.
you,
and
so what you did, you hip escaped all the way through everything? You shrimp through it, did some bear
Shrimp.
cross?
I mean, that's where I got my cardio. I couldn't run like Michelle
How gangster
did.
would that be, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
Michelle-
what are you doing? Just shrimping the whole
The
course?
whole
Michelle was
course.
gone. She left us probably halfway through the race.
See, I
and
didn't
I was
run.
cramping.
She
He
said
started
deuces.
cramping.
She's pretty athletic, that one.
My buddies, they were like, "Look, just come do it." You know, I did this at 300 pounds too. I mean, literally, I did it when I was at 300.
So
Wow.
you're saying you're tiny.
Well, I think I would have a lot more fun this go around if I was to do it again
Yeah.
than I would before. But
Dang,
my buddy was like, "Just come do it with us." we're not going to run. We'll walk.
He had life insurance on you. He was trying to kill you. I'm
Dude.
sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And what sucks is that one there is 12.7
Yeah.
miles.
That's miles.
About
We
20
know.
obstacles.
Yeah.
We've been there.
I
What is
know.
well, I mean, I've never done that. I mean, I've seen other people do it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man, I don't know if I want to.
It's
do
actually
that.
hella fun.
Well, and we
What's the one that has that electrical?
That's
That's
the very
Tough Mudder.
finish line.
Listen,
That's,
I will tell you my first experience. I got knocked out.
so did Michelle.
My face was in the mud, and I had to be pulled out.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I was
Yeah.
fine after that.
Did you get electrocuted? What
Yeah.
happened? Oh wow!
Yeah, it's
Like,
little like tentacles.
You're supposed to crawl. So when you crawl, the little wires are exposed and they hit you. Well, this one hit me in the back of the head, and I just went face down on the mud.
So the stakes have never been higher with this thing. Is what
Yeah,
you're saying?
yeah.
That's the last obstacle of the race.
Yeah,
Well-
so you're dead ass.
Oh, there's two of them.
There's two, yeah.
Once you-
But the first on mine was like on mile 2, and Michelle had to like literally drag me out of it because I was just like down. Once I came to, I'm like, oh, I'm fine. Let's go. I finished it.
It knocked you out.
It knocked me out.
Oh, what
bro.
was the question you had?
Well, I was gonna say, we actually, so at the place I do like my strength and cardio, it's Boost Performance. There's a bunch of like it's the Spartan race, kind of the same
Yep,
thing.
Spartan,
Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing.
There's a bunch of like Spartan race people that train there as well, and yeah, their whole workouts are a set of something different, man. It's crazy. It's a lot of grip strength. I feel like they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
They
obviously
do a lot of
cardio.
lifting and
Yeah.
stuff with their obstacles, right?
Yeah, they do a lot of
Exactly.
carry.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, they had some guy like brought like a
Logs
big
and they
bucket
have-
with like a bunch of
yeah,
lead
rocks
BBs in it
Yep.
and stuff, and he's carrying it around.
Like, don't
I'm
spill the BBs. Or you have to put
Yeah,
them back in the
yeah. It's
bucket.
like he brought
Yeah,
it from his
'cause
truck or something.
I had to
That's-
carry Michelle a quarter of a mile.
I had to carry some stranger.
Yeah. Because I was like,
I
man,
don't know,
you're not
that
going to be
doesn't
able to
sound that
carry me,
fun.
so I carry her.
Did you guys
and
sign a
then-
waiver?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
do, yeah. They call it the death waiver.
But I will tell you, honest to God, that is the best beer I have ever. I have
Oh,
not
yeah.
had a beer because literally, as you cross the finish line, they give you
They're
your
handing-
headband, and then the next girls are giving you a beer.
It's probably a Pabst Blue Ribbon. Too,
No,
or
it
something
was.
crappy.
I think down there it was Tecantes or something like that.
know.
But
Nice.
I'm telling you, I have never to this
I
day
hear
yet.
They're great anti-inflammatories.
I don't care.
Yeah,
it was
it's like
the
a bunch
best
of
beer.
marathon runners drink
Yeah.
beer after
They
they're
do.
done.
Bass Rutten used to drink a beer after training every.
I believe
every
he's
time.
from
I
Holland,
believe
right? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
He's also a badass, dude.
Yeah.
yeah,
Pretty ridiculous.
he hit you with one of them open palms, and that was it.
The only obstacle I did not do was trying to run up the half pipe.
I did.
I
Yeah.
couldn't. I looked at it, and at that point, I
You're like,
just
I'm
got
300 pounds. Why?
Yeah, I'm 300 pounds. I just got through the cargo net that they have bolted to the ground, and that one really killed me. And when we got to that one, I was like, I've got nothing.
Do you know
Well, and it's
how-
probably sketchy. I'm sorry. I didn't
Oh,
mean to cut
no,
you
go
off. It's
ahead.
probably sketchy too, because if like you're full of mud or water, like I'm sure it's kind of
It's
slick
hard.
to be running
It
up
is.
that,
It is hard.
You know? Like,
Do you know how many people you get to sit there and we watched for a little bit because the guys I went and did it with, they done it. And in the span it took them to do it, I literally watched 3 people just completely face plant
Eat
into
it?
the half pipe.
Oh.
Well, I want to send a shout out to Eric Mott and Dan Pascal because when I did it, I went up running and they were like leaning over the half pipe.
Yeah.
It's like a half pipe.
Yeah.
And they were like reaching out and I just grabbed their hands and they brought me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Teamwork
pretty
right
much.
there.
It's a bunch of teamwork, even
Yeah.
with people you don't know. You're running, and there's just people. There's chains of people.
Yeah, there's
carrying-
people that lay down on it.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
crawl up.
And you can crawl up.
So
yeah.
like a big guy.
I
you're
wasn't
looking
going to
up,
subject
like,
anybody to that.
No,
Well, you could have been the base.
Could have been the
And
best.
It's pretty
usually,
intense. It's
like
crazy.
you could notice, you'd go up, and if you made it up, someone pulled you up, they'd go, you'd stay.
Yeah.
The next person went. and
We
it
did that on the
just-
big balloons that you had to go over. Like once you kind of got over, we would flip over and grab people, pull a couple people, and then you switch places. Like we hooked up with a team of, it was a couple girls and their moms, because we were just goofing and having a good time. They were like, "Man, we want to stick with you guys." I was like, "Come on." So there was like 6 of them and then 3 of us, and then we just kind of stuck together through the rest of the course and had fun.
I wonder how many crazy pictures of people like upside down with their feet caught in the cargo net there are.
Oh, I saw somebody break their foot.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they fell
It
and
was bad, huh?
yeah.
Like
Dang.
him and Michelle,
Waiver.
because they had gone on one before, they got to go on an extra part of the route.
Yeah.
They
And
open
then,
yeah.
so I had to go by myself, and I had to climb up the ladder, and then you jump down, the 50 foot or whatever, 30 foot into the water.
Mhm.
Well, my first step to get up the ladder, my foot cramped, my whole leg. So I stood there like Captain Morgan on this ladder, like looking around, like, what am I going to do? I can't even, like, I can't move right now.
So you definitely want to hydrate before this course.
Oh yeah.
I was hydrated, but I hadn't done that much activity.
I will tell you that tower where you jump into the water and then you have to swim, that was the most scariest one for me because I'm scared of heights. And I think it's
That-
like 30 feet high.
Yeah.
And I'm looking down and I see people like this big. I'm like, oh, motherfucker.
I saw there was like grown ass men like scared to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, they're scared. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm cramping. If I hit that water and I'm cramping, I can't swim. What am I gonna do? And I'm by myself. They were gone, and I was freaking out. But then some guy comes over. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, my foot's cramped." He goes, "Do you need help?" And I was like, "No, I'm just waiting for it to calm down, and then I'm going up."
The best part is when you see them and they don't know if they're gonna jump, and all of a sudden they slip and they just like.
Sounds like a life-changing
you're on, like, a
experience here,
plank.
like a find Jesus moment.
Yeah.
This whole thing, man, it's crazy. Like,
What are
you
you
almost
made of?
died.
You don't want to do it. You got a lot going for you, bro.
Why don't waste yourself?
This is
on
for
this.
us. You know?
For normal
We're
people.
not fighting anytime soon or ever. So.
No.
Yeah,
It was-
we don't want you doing that.
It was probably one of the, I had a lot more fun than I expected to. I
Sure,
expected to kind of hate, I was doing it with some friends because they really wanted me to do it. I was like, I'll do it because I'm friends with you,
Yeah.
but I'm going to hate this
But I'm
the
not
whole
friends
time.
with you afterwards. You don't
Yeah,
say me,
that
dude.
kind of shit. But then
They
literally
shouldn't be asking
afterwards,
this of me.
it was the funnest thing I'd done in a long time.
Right on.
That's probably one of the most memorable things I've done in a while. And then I did another like 3-mile mud run, and the second to last, my Liz Frank joint split open, and
That sounds fun.
Yeah, right?
I haven't
Actually-
done one since.
I actually tore that playing football my
Did you really?
third year.
Miserable.
Yeah, it's one of the worst pains ever.
What do they
They
have to
just-
do to fix that?
So
or-
I'll kind of give you the whole rundown. So my third year in training camp, did the whole Liz Frank thing, split it. So if you don't know, the Liz Frank is basically, I don't know what the
It's
correct term is.
like the main joint in your actual foot, like where the
the talus.
So it keeps the bones together. So if
Oh,
it was
yeah,
to tear, then the bone just kind of splay apart. And then whenever
Yeah.
you take a step, it just splays
It's-
apart.
Cool.
So I was sidelined for the whole training camp. Had the option to go on IR. Didn't want to go on IR because I went on IR the previous season for shoulder surgery halfway
Yeah.
through the season. So I didn't want to go on IR again. So they ended up putting 2 steel titanium plates in my shoe.
Yeah.
So I couldn't flex my foot at all. So when I ran, I was basically I'm running
Flat-footed.
flat-footed.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Wow.
So
Foot, turned out to the side a little
what ended
bit?
up happening there is I got a stress fracture on the other side of my foot because obviously my foot was overcompensating.
Yeah.
So by the end of the season, man, it was such a chore to even try to get ready to play. I mean, I was
Pushing
taking
off.
pain medication.
like
Well,
pushing off you couldn't do.
And
I had
especially-
to tape
yeah.
it shut. Like I had to tape my foot so that it would stop.
and playing defensive end where it's all about get off and explosive.
Yeah.
And every step I was just like, I'd be screaming, but
Wow.
it's something that
Yeah,
I
not a
wanna
whole lot
play
of
through.
lateral movement.
No,
going on
not
with
at
that.
all. I mean, it's funny if you watch my highlights from that year, you can tell I just wasn't moving right.
I mean, it's different
But-
when you got your arm clubbed up. You got a
Exactly.
broken hand or something like that. You can swing it around, but
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
immobilize the foot while you're trying to use it isn't.
So
I can't see
got
that
it
being
through.
fun.
Got through the whole season with that, and then the plan was to get surgery or kind of go to a specialist and see what the options were. So I flew to North Carolina after the season to meet with the specialist, and he said, "Well, we can do surgery, or you can just lay off it for about 2 months and don't do anything with it, and then it should go back to normal."
Yeah.
So I laid off it. But in doing so, and just the way I had those plates set up in my shoe, I had to learn how to run all over again.
Oh, wow.
But by the time it was healed up and everything was good again, I would try to run and I'd be so properly off balance that I had to learn how to strengthen my glutes and my hamstrings and learn how to run all over again. So
Yeah,
man.
I was
You
like
had
a
to go
2
to
month.
PT for that? Or?
Well, I mean, I went to the stadium every
Yeah,
single
yeah.
day, and so they basically took me through this whole program where I'd be probably doing probably an hour a day of just gradually just running and learning how to turn my foot over and things like that. And it was a tedious process, but obviously I had
I
to
kind of
do
wish
it.
I did some physical therapy because it took probably a good 6 months to get normal without pain
Yeah.
function back.
And it sucks
It
too
was
because
miserable.
Oh, what a not
well,
funny injury.
it's called a Liz Frank. Could you think of any worse name to
Yeah,
call a
right?
serious ass injury? I saw my friends. I'm like, I got a Liz Frank, and they're like, "All right, pussy, what does that mean?"
Hey, I got a Tommy John surgery, bro.
exactly.
I went to the emergency room, right? I mean, they had to carry me off in a stretcher. I thought I broke my foot. It was so painful, and I heard the snap, and they
Oh,
took
so there's
me.
audible sound behind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What happened.
Yes, same thing with me. I thought I broke my foot.
Wow.
So I went to the emergency room. They did the X-rays. No bones were broken, but it had.
Split.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so then I went. It was about a week after that. They put me in a splint. I was on crutches. About a week after that, I went to the orthopedic, and the student, kind of texts, we're looking at the top, and they're like, "Oh, well, it's swollen, but no bruising." The doctor comes in, he pulls my foot up. It is black. The whole bottom of my foot is so bruised, and I didn't even notice.
Oh, wow.
He's like, "No, that's a classic Liz Frank, whatever he called it." I was like, "What the hell? what is that? So he showed me, and
I think they classify it like as a Lisfranc fracture, but it's technically not a bone. It's like the tendon, but they call it the fracture.
miserable.
Yeah, I heard my buddies.
You should know this. You're in ortho.
Right?
Yeah, I do, but sometimes you don't have to be the only one explaining it.
I got to listen to my buddy's Achilles pop. That was a fun sound because you heard it and you were like,
well, and just
Zach
the way
just dealt
like,
with
it
that.
rolls up to like a shade, like oh my, come on.
Yeah, right up the lip.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I saw a guy his pec tore from his chest and then just balled up.
Like Trey Taligman. You guys remember that guy from the UFC back in the day, early?
Oh, he didn't have a
He
chest.
didn't have a pec.
Oh yeah, he didn't have the pec.
Yeah, it was one of the early UFC days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was fighting without it. They're questioning if they should allow him because it's like basically, you know what I mean? It's kind of like
straight to the bone.
to the chest.
And then Frank Mir just
Said, fuck it, you're dying.
you're dying tonight.
Yeah.
Just like Craig Hardy's gonna.
That's
die.
my coworker just had surgery this week. He'd gone like 3 weeks with his finger like that. He said he heard a pop, felt a pop,
Flexor tendon in his
and
finger.
both tendons, and they can only. So by the time he goes to the orthopedic surgeon,
It's already shrunk up.
it's into the hand, and they could only fix one. The other one was completely destroyed. And I was like, God damn, you did that
guys,
for 3 weeks.
Let me put this out there. If you have any kind of tendon injury, especially if it's the flexor when you're making grips, you have about a 1 to 2 day window. So you need, if you can't flex your finger,
Something's
you
wrong.
need to go in because that surgery should be done within 72 to 96 hours.
Nice.
And that happened to your coworker. I just got a bunch of patients in over this last call, and they're like, "Yeah, work comp, approved this." It was from 2 weeks prior, so like we're like, "You might end up with a finger,
With
and it was his
nothing?
middle finger just stuck straight.
Yeah,
You
this is his
no
middle
longer
finger.
curl it. Can't do anything for you.
Yeah.
This was his middle finger too, and I
Watch
kept
it's
telling him,
your boy that we're taking care of.
Yeah, exactly.
It might be. Is he really big?
Yeah, yeah, he is.
Hey,
Is he-
Listen, no HIPAA violations here.
Is he
Right?
Colombian?
Yeah,
Hey,
It
hey,
is.
hey, hey, no.
It is.
It
No,
is.
no HIPAA violations.
We're not.
yeah. You gotta say names.
You can't say names.
I didn't.
He gets in
Yeah,
trouble.
that's funny. It's him. Yeah, that's him. Seeing us.
Damn.
We did surgery on him already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how the outcome
But he didn't
was.
go through workman's comp.
Well, great. This is an awesome topic.
live.
Who gives a fuck? Sorry.
Oh, we're just talking about injuries. And, I figured I'd do a public service announcement. If you got a flexor tendon injury, get seen right away, please.
Hey, Colombian guy, heal up.
Yeah,
Bye.
because a lot of people, they'll feel a pop or they hear a pop and they're like, it's all right, it was just a pop. We'll deal with it later.
So your finger's not bending.
Yeah, then
And you're
like
giving
you
everybody
said,
the fun one.
your shit starts shrinking up. They can't get it back anymore. And
The
you're
fun
stuck.
finger.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Ooh. Ooh.
At that point, you should just get it cut off because you're not going to be able to use it anymore.
Oh, don't look up surgery pictures on that. It's gross.
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
nice.
we do that all the I got Instagram.
No.
Me and Amanda will sit. I'll show her like when they're doing a knee replacement and
Oh,
they've actually
God.
topped it and they're driving in the stud down into the knee. And it's literally
I'm sure
just
they're
a.
not gentle with it either.
Oh no,
No.
it is the
Yeah.
most violent thing you've
There's
ever
no
seen.
It's like a
foreplay.
jackhammer.
It's
No,
just,
it's
like,
literally-
No, gliding that thing
Yeah.
in there.
It's nurses holding a guy's leg
Oh.
and the doctor sitting there with a medical grade hammer and
like
basically
hammer.
driving the pin through the marrow
Yeah.
into the knee.
Well, obviously you were a football player. What was the worst injury that you've seen on the field?
that I saw on the field.
Because
I mean-
that horse collar, rule.
No, for sure.
That's pretty gruesome too.
I saw the Achilles rupture a couple times.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing with Achilles injuries, it seems like they happen when nothing like crazy is going on. Like we're going through drills and another defensive tackle is just high step, and all of a sudden you heard the pop and you see the back of his heel because he's wearing high socks, right?
Yeah.
But you see the sock just kind of like shrug up a little bit,
Oh.
and I'm like, that dude just tore his Achilles. So that
It
was
like a hit in the baseball
yeah,
bat.
that was nasty. I've seen a couple of ACLs, but the head injuries are probably the worst. I think I took part in Austin Collie. He played for the Colts. Might have been like his 8th concussion or something
Wow.
like that, man. And that dude was like shaking a little bit first, so that was kind of a scary thing to see.
See his
Oh my
helmet
God.
fly off during this hit.
No, his helmet didn't. Well, the crazy thing was he had a visor on too because he had so many concussions already. Like he probably shouldn't have been playing. And he was a smaller dude. He's a slot receiver, and I think he ran a slant route and just we collide. I didn't collide with him, but the linebacker collided with him and knocked him out, and he was kind of like shaking a little bit, and then lights off and everything. So he was laying there for a long time.
Yeah, they say that the higher you see their hands go up when the
Yeah.
knockout hits is the worse. The higher the arms, the worse the knockout.
Well, this dude was like in church praising Jesus for a little
Yeah.
bit, man, because his hands were up there. So it was But thankfully, I think he was okay.
Do you think that they're doing a better job nowadays? Because I mean, this is being at the forefront, you know, in as far as
TBI,
injuries.
traumatic brain injury,
Yeah.
being at the forefront of football, and they're talking about MMA now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, here's the thing I always say with that, and I think this pertains more to football, but it can probably be applied to MMA as well, is the fact that if you look at the human evolution and how our bodies have adapted, people are getting faster, they're getting stronger, they're getting bigger every single day. So if you were to compare an NFL defensive tackle from now to 20 years ago, it's night and day. So guys are getting bigger, faster, and stronger, but what's happening? Our brains and our bodies aren't adapting to that. So our brains have stayed the same. Our skulls have stayed the same. So, I mean, there's only so many things you can do, but eventually you're going to get hit and you're going to get knocked out. It's
Genetic
like football.
splicing with a ram. That's what we need.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Big, thick skull.
Yeah, but I do think the biggest thing that can be done, especially in the NFL right now, is the whole cannabis debate. Obviously, the NFL pushes opiates as opposed to cannabis, and I think
CBD oils and all that.
I think that's the wrong attitude to have, because I mean I was there when I tore my Liz Frank. I mean I was popping, I was doing Toradol and all that stuff and getting shots, injections just so I could play, because I was in so much pain. But the thing with those opiates and the Toradol shot is the fact that it masks concussion symptoms. So you get a concussion, you don't know it, and all of a sudden three weeks later, you're in the off season, all of a sudden you're having headaches, you don't know what's going on. So I think going the more natural route with the cannabis or in the CBD, like you said, would be a huge asset to have. It's just the fact that they can't make money off it right now, so it's not the option, which sucks.
Yeah, that's big pharma right there.
Yeah, there was a player. He was a young kid. I think he retired. He did. He was. I think he only played 2 years, maybe 3. Mm-hmm. He petitioned the NFL to be able to use CBD oils instead of the opioids that were prescribed.
Yeah.
They denied him, so he retired.
Yeah.
Said I'm not. They're pushing me this direction towards the pills, and because he'd already taken the CBD to try it, and it worked wonders. And it doesn't have the side effects that the opioids have.
Exactly.
But they pushed him going, no, you can't. You have to take these pills. And he just went, no, I'm going to retire.
Well, I mean, you see the commercials and, they say, symptoms include, and they just give you a list.
They're longer than the commercial.
Diarrhea,
exactly.
Headaches, you could die. It's like, Jesus Christ, then why am I taking this shit for?
Well, between that and just the addictive properties that they have.
Well, I mean, what would you rather take? Something that comes from the ground or something that was made in the lab?
Definitely from the ground.
Yeah, exactly. It's simple as that. It's just the fact, like I said, I mean, right now the NFL can't capitalize off making money off it, so they're not going that route. And, I can get on a soapbox here and talk about all the reasons why I think the NFL is, wrong in some areas, but it's just a fact of the matter that they can't make money off the CBD right now.
Yeah. I think they're getting ready to. It's probably not this year. It's going to be probably within the next 8 years. They're going to come up to a crossroads where they're going to have to decide a direction, because I know last year they lost a lot of people last year. But I mean, their ratings are just going to continue to go down, and as their ratings go down, their money goes down, and then that's the only way you're going to force their hand into making any changes.
Well, and I mean, since we're on that topic too, with the whole Colin Kaepernick taking a knee thing, what I would like, and I'm sure you watch football a lot too, so you kind of know what's kind of going on a little bit with the taking knee. And granted, whatever you say about that, if it's right or wrong, I mean, that's your opinion. That's not what I'm trying to say here. Is the fact that the NFL started the whole Susan G. Komen thing because they wanted to get women to watch football. Mm-hmm. So that's why the whole breast cancer awareness thing came about. So I want to say it's only like 10% of the money that they make from, the pink jerseys and the hats actually go towards the foundation. Everything else goes towards, the NFL. Yeah.
And then on top of that, the Coleman Foundation, because they're not, if you've done the research on the different charities, they're not high ranked.
So
they're not a good
what I would love to see happen is, because obviously race is the issue. That's what the players are speaking out against. If they had just like a racial equality awareness month. Yeah. Where they, but instead of, only giving 10% to maybe like inner city schools or programs, you give 100% to it. So whether it's like introducing a new color, maybe it's green, whatever color it is, like you change the uniforms around a little bit, you have the hats and everything, but that money goes towards raising awareness. And I think that way that's a good cause where you're not going to take a knee and offend people, and things are going to get done with that. That's what I'd love to see happen.
The whole not, everything that's coming in is not going out for the cause that you're supporting. I never understood
even
that.
the Red Cross is like that.
It is.
It's like you give this money, you think, they got like $20 million. That's great. That's going to do some help. But then you realize only
$1 million gets maybe.
Yeah, it's like, that's ridiculous. We have to pay our people. We have to. I'm like,
Well, that's why I like,
That doesn't help.
what was it? That's here in Jacksonville, the Wounded Warriors.
Oh yeah,
That one got exposed as not being real good. And even some of the veterans who dealt with him, he's like, yeah, they didn't help me with shit. They gave me a sticker on my prosthetic leg. That's what I got, kind of shit. And then they go, because there's been a couple guys that's been on Rogan going, look, don't donate to them. If you want to donate, you want to help, you go to these people because they're giving 100% to
JJ Watt.
JJ Watt.
Yeah.
There's good guys, and I mean, there's good foundations.
$37 million for the hurricane relief.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and now he's offered to pay for.
He's paying for the funerals for the Santa Fe.
Yeah, that was so sad. But
that's
my
dude
cool.
right there, though.
Yeah.
It's Wisconsin dude, man.
Yeah.
It's it's a pretty cool thing he's doing.
Speaking of your dude's got another fight coming.
Who's that?
Your boy.
Oh yeah,
boy.
yeah.
In Chicago.
Chicago. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Phil.
Oh,
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, UFC Chicago. You didn't know?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I was saying you said Phil. I'm like, oh, CM Punk. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
He
got
does
a
have
fight.
another fight coming up. Yeah.
So, have you talked to him about it? Or has-
No, I haven't. I mean, so I haven't talked to him, man, in a couple months now. Truth be told, on Twitter. Yeah, 'cause sometimes we probably message each other, and haven't been staying in touch with him too much. I know because I'm a big comic book guy. He was doing the Drax thing for a while. He hasn't done those because he's training now. So I'm just kind of letting him be, and I'm sure he's
For
gonna let
sure.
me be.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for him, man.
Man, you're both going to be in the UFC.
Yeah, we'll
That's
see.
awesome.
Yeah. What do you think about his matchup?
I don't know the other guy, to be honest with you.
I think they're definitely doing you a bigger favor than they did him.
No, for sure. Mickey Gall was a beast, man.
Yeah, they're bringing you the way
Well-
they should have kind of maybe brought him in a little
and the
bit.
guy he's fighting, the guy's only got one UFC fight, and he lost to Mickey Gall as well. I think he got that
Jesus
deal, if I'm not
Christ.
mistaken.
What's his
That's
name?
where we're at now. It's Jackson, right? Something Jackson?
Pull it up, Chris.
Mike Jackson, maybe?
Yeah,
Michael
they should've
Jackson?
Never,
Michael
They
Jackson?
should have
Might
never
be
put him
Michael
with Mickey
Jackson.
Gall. And if I called that from the get, I was like, you should have fought someone like me,
Yeah.
not like Mickey
Yeah.
Gall.
I wanted to bring it up because he kept calling him out.
I thought they did him dirty, man.
Dude, I mean, your first UFC fight. I mean,
But
your
it's-
first fight in general.
But it's
You know,
been
like,
it's
Mike
been
Jackson.
what?
He's
Mike
not,
Jackson.
He's not a super
Mike
young
Jackson.
guy. You know what I mean? I was like, you
No.
need to put him someone his own age.
What's his
who has
record?
His own stuff.
I think he's 0-1 right now.
Let me see. We'll see if. Yeah, go ahead.
No, we're waiting on you.
Oh, yeah. We're
Yeah,
just
I know. I see
paying
that.
by a bit
He's like,
here.
go ahead, I'm scrolling.
Yeah.
Pornhub.
Well,
X2.
his last fight was what, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He's definitely had to improve, and maybe break down the tape with Mickey Gall and see what he can do better and all that stuff. Man, I hope he wins. I'm pulling
Well,
for him.
Did you guys hear the rumors about him with supposedly fighting Floyd Mayweather? That was the kind of the rumor for a while. Was
Ooh,
him and
actually-
Floyd Mayweather in the cage. Yeah.
That would be interesting, actually.
Army crawl.
Well-
Army crawl to Floyd Mayweather. Just army crawl and jiu-jitsu.
Butt scoot.
Jiu-jitsu. Literally come out, tap gloves, army crawl. Right to him.
That's so hilarious.
Yeah, if they put them together, then we're gonna put a lot of rules in place to make it favorable for Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Like, there's gonna be no takedowns, there's gonna be no submissions.
But then it's not the UFC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
You
know,
know,
that's so silly.
That's why I don't want to see him in the UFC.
Floyd is so silly.
Because they're gonna put all these rules that is not MMA.
Well,
I
he
mean,
put out that
that's-
video.
So
You
what
saw
was
that?
your
Yeah, I
question?
saw the video.
What was
What
your
was
question on
his-
Mike?
What's his record?
In the UFC, it's 0-1, but he's won 4 fights. Actually, no. Why does he say it's 1-0? Because all right, so he's 4-1. He actually beat Sage Northcutt.
What?
Mike Jackson did?
Yeah.
I don't think
In
so.
the amateur
When?
I'm
wrestling
sorry,
guy?
Mickey Gall. Why the hell did it do that? My bad. Go ahead.
This fucking
I
guy.
know, this fucking guy.
Great.
Yeah, that's
But,
not even the same at all.
No, it's
Same
not.
guy, Mickey Gall.
Mike Jackson, not Mike Gall.
Yeah.
Mickey Gall,
But
whatever.
Getting back to the whole Floyd thing, how do you
0-1.
guys feel the direction of the UFC now with that the whole? Because I mean, obviously it's more entertainment, isn't it?
Oversaturation.
Yeah.
We didn't get the last pay-per-view.
I didn't even watch the
Yeah.
fights
Like,
last night.
I mean, once
There was
you're in,
fights last night?
once you're in there, we're gonna get all the pay-per-views that
Chile.
you're
Yeah,
in.
Huh?
But
Was it
UFC
Chile?
fight past everything.
yeah, but
Oh.
we pick and choose at this point because
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not excited. I mean, and I don't want to say that fighters are boring or fights are boring because I'm in no place to say what's what. I've never been in the cage, and styles they don't always make the exciting fights, but it just seems like they're not building stars anymore.
Well,
I
you
was
know
gonna say
what?
that.
I was going to say the exact same thing too, and it seems like the stars that they put their eggs in their baskets haven't returned well. You know, like the Sage Northcutt, like the Paige Van Zandt, things like that. You know, fighters' job is to fight.
Yeah.
The promotion's job is to tell a story. You know, I mean, I think we had this conversation last time I was here. The fact that Stipe wasn't a household name by the time he fought Francis.
And he's still not.
And he's, I mean, you know, I see him on TV. He's got like the beer commercial. I think it's
Modelo.
Yeah.
Modelo
he's doing that. But that dude's story, man, he's a full-time or maybe part-time, whatever. He's a firefighter.
Yeah.
The guy's a firefighter and he's also the baddest man in the world.
Yep.
Well, why don't you tell that story? You know, so I think it's the UFC's job to tell the stories, and I don't think those stories are really being told right now.
Only the diehards know. Only people that really follow it. But
I
the
think
casual
once
fan,
the new management came in, it wasn't the same. Like, you used to see, like, the countdowns were 3-part countdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Now you'll see maybe every once in a while they'll do a 1-part countdown.
Yeah, 24 hours.
Yeah.
they don't want to spend the money on the production. Is that what the deal is?
I don't know, but hey, you know, I got an iPhone and I started shooting some film and I'm starting to get good at it. So give me a holla. I'll do it for cheap.
Maybe now we've got an insider. We can find out if Connor's whole thing was fake or not.
Yeah,
What do you think about that?
What did you think?
It's fake.
Did I think it was fake?
Well, see, our thing is that we think that it was set up.
And he
that
got out of hand.
That he was going to show up, make a scene, but then it kind of went too far when he started throwing fucking hand trucks and
I
shit at
think as
buses.
soon as he threw that dolly, he went too far, and they were like, that wasn't part of the script.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you mean to tell me like 20 of his crew came in through the back door and nobody tried to stop him? I mean, come on, man. Like, I get there saying, like, I guess his production company let him through the door or something.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to see 20 guys wearing all black hoodies coming through anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so that always seemed a little fishy. Of course it was a setup, I feel like. Well, why wouldn't it be? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
It just had that feel
Yeah.
until that dolly went through the window. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh.
Well, that and
shit.
dude, he's lucky he didn't hit Rose Namajunas either.
Oh,
because
shit.
he
He'd
was
be dead.
He was a foot away from hitting her, and
Yeah.
Dude.
God knows
I
what
still-
happened there.
Apparently,
feel
she's
like they-
really upset. Like he tried to apologize
Rightfully so,
privately,
though, man.
and
Like-
she was like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
I still
was
feel like they
"Whoa."
told him that, well, whether they had scripted or whatever, that he was going to take the dolly and hit the window, or they're like, it's shatterproof. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then all of a sudden it shatters.
I think maybe that he thought that the dolly was going to be heavy and he was going to hit the side of the bus, and he was like, "Oh shit, I'm strong! I'm so strong!"
Adrenaline,
Yeah.
But, and
I
obviously,
just feel somewhere along the line there was a script and it got out
It
of
got
hand.
sideways. But
but-
what's Rose's coaches? Who's that?
Pat Barry,
Pat Barry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could
that's
see
her
him.
boyfriend too.
I could see him getting off of the bus and just beating the dog shit out
Oh
of
yeah,
You got to
quite a
remember,
few.
Pat
Without a
Barry
doubt.
is a highly decorated kickboxer.
Yeah.
yeah.
K1, and he's also like 100 pounds heavier than Connor.
Yeah.
He probably would have knocked his block off.
Yeah, he
But
would have Lucky Charmed
At the
his
same
ass.
time,
Yeah.
if you see a dolly come, like head on a swivel, like
Yeah.
you see 20. If I see 20 guys wearing all black, kind of circle the bus. My head's gonna be on a swivel. I'm gonna be watching all angles. I'm gonna be super ninja senses. And I'm
Yeah.
not gonna let a dolly, take me out of a fight because Ray Borg got the glass in his eye, and then
That's right.
Michael Chiesa.
Michael Chiesa got the cut. And
He didn't get the memo. He's like, "Oh, a dolly's coming."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
The window.
know. It's just tricky, man.
He's just like,
was wild.
it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Oh shit.
Why didn't you guys tell me the script? I would have been joking.
Exactly.
I mean, you can see in the video he runs towards the bus and then heads towards the dolly
Yeah.
and then comes back.
But look at here we are, and now we're talking about it. And
I know,
obviously,
it's-
him and
Totally.
Khabib,
Yeah.
Totally.
it obviously
Did you
works.
guys see that fan made Khabib versus Conor McGregor? It's like 15 minutes long.
It's a trailer.
No.
But I watched it and it's good. I
Really?
gotta find it. Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you could look it up, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like fan made Khabib versus Conor McGregor, and it's cool. And it has everything from like why Khabib is so awesome and the
Yeah.
way that he does this. It's put together so nicely. Like
What do you
I was
think-
hyped after.
What do you think's going to happen?
Oh,
in that
I
fight?
can't wait.
What do you guys think?
Man.
That's a tough call.
I think if he's standing up, Connor might have it, but the minute he goes to the ground, it's over.
Yeah.
This is the deal. Yeah, if and I think if he can get him to the ground, he would. Once he does, that's a different deal.
That's Nate for sure exposed Connor's weakness on the ground. And then the second fight they had, Connor did everything not to even get near the ground.
True, but at the same time, Nate caught him with stand up though too. as
Yeah.
well,
He did,
and
he
He's
sure
a little
did.
longer too.
And then
Yeah.
it was Connor's instinct to kind of go to the ground, and he was done. after
Khabib
that.
is definitely a little
It's-
weaker on the stand up, right? Because he got caught a
you know
couple
what?
times.
And I don't want to say he got exposed his last fight, but he definitely showed, I think, some vulnerability in the stand up game, especially as the rounds, like in the third and fourth round
Yeah.
went on and everything. So I think it's definitely an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I don't think his
for
last
sure.
fight was the mauling that everybody thought it was going to
No.
be.
No.
Well, Alaya Quinta,
He's a great
you know,
wrestler.
he's awesome.
I know, but a lot
Yeah.
of, but you know, your fans, not the diehards, but the fans were just looking at it going, "Oh my god, Khabib's just
He
going to go in
wrestles
there."
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
maul
he's,
this guy."
like this giant Russian dude. He's
Yeah.
gonna just crush him. And,
I must break you.
Yeah, exactly.
He has that Eastern European block look, man. He's
Yeah.
just intimidating looking. Kind
That
of
immigrant mentality.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in seeing what happens when Tony comes back. He tore his ACL and he's going to be out for a minute.
Someone
but-
Ferguson.
Yeah,
Tony Ferguson.
Tony
Tony.
Ferguson.
Tony, I said Tony.
I don't know if he's
For
going to be
case
out
other
for a
people don't
minute,
know.
dude. He's already rehabbing that shit. The surgery they did on him
Yeah.
is something new, and
6 months is 6
Stem
months,
cells or
though, bro.
something? Yeah.
I don't know.
Minimum
So
before
then, what
can
do you do with
start
Tony?
strengthening.
What's the thing with him then? What do you do? Do
He's
you
got
have
a
him
year.
fight the winner of Conor and
Yeah, I
Khabib?
guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe. Yeah.
that would be ideal. I mean, he
Yeah.
was the interim champ
Yeah.
until, he got,
I
stripped
think he
because
needs
he
to take a
fell.
fight in between that and just get back in there.
you mean a tune-up fight?
Kind of.
He's too big of a name. They won't give him a
Kinda.
tune-up fight.
So
Give him
I
a
always
higher
have
name
this.
tune-up fight.
If I was going to play UFC matchmaker and it was my job, I mean, I always had this dream where I would bring in Ben Askren to fight Khabib.
They won't.
Well,
won't.
okay,
Yeah,
well,
I know,
number one,
I know
and
it.
unfortunately, because we're obviously diehard MMA fans, so
Yeah.
we get it. I feel like the general public doesn't really know who Ben Askren is.
Man, he's a
You know,
badass.
but if they
is
did-
what he is.
But if they did, so I mean, you can't go wrong with that fight because either A, Khabib beats him, and it's like, okay, Khabib definitely is the best wrestler of all time,
Right.
or Ben Askren beats Khabib, and then you give Ben Askren a mic and you just let him rip the shit out of Dana White and say what, because obviously they don't get along, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
But
yeah.
people love a heel, and people love when they try to challenge establishment,
Yeah.
aka Stone Cold Steve Austin
Welcome
back in
to
wrestling,
WWE.
dude.
Yeah.
He'd be like, and
Oh,
that's-
I say, give me a beer.
yeah, and
Give me a beer.
and that's kind of like the entertainment factor, man.
Yeah.
So you give Askren the mic after he beats Khabib and just let him spew off, man.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
That would take social media by storm. I feel like.
I just,
Entertainment for
I think
sure.
if Askren turned to heel, though, I think he would probably
already
start a heel,
kinda
but he
is.
would have so many people
Well,
that would be like, "Nah, dude, he's
and,
awesome."
And it's not so much turning heel; it's just being anti-establishment. You know,
Yeah,
it's being
just being
anti-Dana
Ben.
White. It's being anti-UFC. So
Yeah, because he didn't hold back on Rogan's podcast about it. He kind of laid
Yeah.
everything out. And
Yeah.
I would love to see him in the UFC.
me too.
I
He has some
mean,
very interesting views on a lot of different things, especially when it came to the whole jiu-jitsu and like wrestling and how practice is. And a lot of people were like, yeah, man, that's how jiu-jitsu should be. I was like, it's two different things.
True.
You got wrestlers, young, athletic, young wrestlers. They're going to have a certain body type, athleticism, so on and so forth. The average jiu-jitsu practitioner can't do that class because the average jiu-jitsu practitioner are like 25 and up,
Yeah.
or maybe have never had any athletic background.
Yeah.
Two totally different things,
Yeah.
different sports, so on and so forth.
yeah,
different
they
aspects.
say that wrestling is really the best base for MMA.
I believe so.
it's one of the things.
Strong wrestling with some good submission defense will get you really, really far because you only have, let's say you're a pro or let's say you're amateur, 3 minutes. You only have 3 minutes to sub somebody. It's hard to sub somebody who knows how to grapple as well. And nobody's doing just wrestling, guys. Nobody's doing that anymore.
No, that's one of the things because the school
Or
I
just
went to
jiu-jitsu.
here in Jax, they didn't have the wrestling program they have now when I played football for them. Because if they would have, I would have definitely went wrestling more than football. Because I think it would have helped me more later in life, the wrestling aspect, than football did. Football, it gave me some lessons and stuff like that, but nothing I can lean back on kind of now. Where I think wrestling really, football pushes you. It pushes you to an edge. It makes you push past that. But then wrestling
It's that grind.
makes you take it to a whole different level. Practice doesn't start until you're fucking hating life. And now we're going to start working.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, you're cutting weight as well when you're doing this. So
Yeah,
enjoy.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I wrestled 1 year. Okay, so back in school, and I'm not athletic, dude. I wrestled 1 year, and I played football the year after.
Okay.
And I can tell you, wrestling practice was way worse than football practice
I believe
ever dreamed of. It's just because of the way the grind was. And then when I went to football, they're like, give me water breaks, because they want you to perform.
Absolutely.
They want you to be able to recover between the,
Mhm.
It was just a different beast. It's different. Now, coming to the pro level, it's different. You got big, huge monsters smashing into each other. And, we're talking high school. It's different. But when it comes to the sports, that's what I felt the difference was. Is the wrestling was like a grind. You don't get water. You don't, that 2 hour practice, 2 a days versus and to be honest, the football coach really liked wrestlers that came over because we stayed low. We were able to move and our work ethic was really strong.
And that's one of the, obviously I didn't high school wrestle or anything like that, but I train at University of North Florida with their wrestling team sometimes, and I also train in Orlando with a guy by the name of Alton Meeks, who's fought for Combat Night as an amateur, but he's getting ready to try to go to the Olympics in 2020, I want to say, for Greco-Roman. I think he just got 4th at the Worlds here in New York and stuff. Nice. Legit wrestler, dude. Legit. Yeah. One of the strongest guys I've ever wrestled against. I mean, just freaking nature.
Yeah, cool.
And he also played football at Iowa State, I think. He was a safety and middle linebacker or something like that. But what I learned from wrestling, and getting back to your points of like life lessons, I mean, I guess the same can be applied for jiu-jitsu too, is you learn how to be comfortable in uncomfortable spots. Mm-hmm. You know, whether that's somebody that's on top of you in side control and, you know, the guy's bigger than you and you can't get him off. I mean, you learn to be comfortable and, you know, try to work your way out around it. Or if it's in wrestling, you know, you're doing the stand-up and someone's shooting a double at you and you're exhausted, but you got to sprawl your hips out and hopefully, you know, get back up. So that's one of the biggest things I've learned so far is the fact that just being uncomfortable and, you know, being comfortable in uncomfortable spots.
I actually talked about that. The training we had to do, it was this new thing a lot of corporate things are doing where it's more understanding, getting outside of comfort zones, understanding what it was. And so you get broke up in teams and you have to talk about it. And like the team I had, they just, you know, there's a bunch of guys. Nobody wants to share any vulnerability, any story about them being sucked. Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, I'll tell them, you know, and I told everybody, like, look, I'm 40 years old, 300 pounds. I started jiu-jitsu, you know, because my wife started working out. She started to lose weight. She started looking better. I'm sitting over here bald, fat, and ugly, you know, and I wanted to not be that way. So I started doing something and going to jiu-jitsu. I was like, guess what, man? Doing that, I'm not scared about a lot of stuff. I'm not as trepid as I used to be about doing something because literally every day when you pull up to the gym, you're like, fuck, this sucks. This is going to suck. This is going to be uncomfortable for 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm going to have some 21 to 26-year-old kid try to kill me multiple times. Art's going to put knee on belly, which is, you know, the weight of the universe on you. And it sucks. But then at the end, you're happy, and then you leave, and you're like, oh, I got through it.
Exactly.
And you can do that. You do that, you know, multiple times every week, and you're like, yeah, man. Somebody's like, let's go do this. Well, I've never done that before. But, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go give it a shot. We'll have some fun. It can't be worse than having Art go from knee on belly to now we're going to transition knee on face.
Exactly. And that's the same way I look at it, too. Even like, you know, I'll take it a step farther with sparring. Like some days I'll go to the gym, like I'll spar, you know, this guy named Kurt Harper, who's a pro boxer here in Jacksonville, and dude's got hands, you know. And some days I go to the gym, I'm like, oh,
he's here.
It's about to go down. But then, you know, I leave and everything's all good. And then, you know, say I'm driving home from Kurt's gym and everything like that, and some guy cuts me off. I don't care, dude. Like in traffic, I'm like, all right, go ahead. Because, like, you know what? That's such a small moment. You know, I just got done sparring a beast. You know, I was taking shots to the face. Like, I'm not worried about this guy cutting me off in traffic. And, you know,
I survived it.
Yeah, I survived it. Exactly. So I kind of found him. And granted, I learned, like you said, in football, I learned a lot of life lessons. But MMA has just made me a lot more chill, and it's made me, you know, sweat the small stuff. You know, like I said, like in traffic, some guy cuts me off. Maybe something's going on with the family. It's just a stressful situation. Yeah. I don't worry about it that much anymore, you know, because there's bigger things to worry about.
Isn't it interesting? And tell me if you felt this. I mean, I got how I felt, but well, people are like, "Oh, you do MMA or oh, you do jiu-jitsu." They're like, "You must be all like, argh. Yeah," and they do this to you, or they're like, "Wow," and you're like, "Actually, it's quite the opposite.
Exactly. I'm more mellow."
You feel the same way, right?
Exactly. You know, I mean, I guess I can take it as a compliment. If everybody I meet, they're like, "You don't seem like an MMA fighter." I'm like, what is that? What is this supposed to mean? And you said, they're like, well, they're always like, and they're bleeding and stuff. I'm like, well, I'm not going to be just bleeding from the face in public for no reason randomly, you know? But, yeah, you know, there's definitely, I guess, you know, there's definitely a label. There's definitely a stereotype when it comes to fighting, just like there was in football, you know? It was always my goal to try to change that stereotype and try to just bring it back down to the human level. Be like, hey, I'm just like you, man. Like I just go in a cage and I fight. It is what it is, you know. But I'm no different than you are. I still have, you know, I've been going to the cage my 9 to 5, but I still approach it the same way you do for your 9 to 5.
It's like they think you go to Walmart and once you get to the cash register, you're like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's
World Star.
Let's go.
Yeah. Well, people feel that they have
ding.
People that don't train or don't do these kind of things feel they have to prove themselves because they don't know where they stand in the world. Mm-hmm. They really don't. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's the great thing about a gym, man, is everybody knows their spot on the ladder.
Exactly.
You know, your goal is to maybe move up if you want, but
a couple rungs.
Is there a ladder? I don't know, man.
Well, that's because you don't see it.
Half of the time I'm too tired to see where I fit in when I'm getting crushed.
That's a great point. Everybody knows kind of where they fit in, and you know, no one's going to go out. I mean, granted, there's a bunch of egos involved in a gym, and there's different personality types. But say you go to the bar. It's usually the loudest guy is the guy that's trying to look for a fight. You know, it's the guy that's peacocking. You never want to mess with the quiet dude at the bar. Yeah, I always tell my friends
Look
that.
at his ears.
And especially, I was going to say, if he's got cauliflower ears, just walk away.
Yeah,
Just walk away.
Well, I think there's a difference between a healthy ego and a, and an aggressive ego, I guess,
Or false. I think ego's fine, but a false ego will get you hurt.
We all want to do well when we're competing against each other,
Yeah.
whether it's at a tournament or whether it's in class, and we're doing our roles. We want to do well, just to feel like, okay, I did well, I survived, or I did well, I got my submission today, or whatever, and we go home. But when you're at a bar and you have some douchebag, you be like, oh, you do MMA or jiu-jitsu, you want to go, boy? And like, oh,
Not really.
no.
I saw this meme, and it was so funny. And it was like, oh, I hear you do jiu-jitsu. It says like, from the whoever. It's like, oh, I hear you do jiu-jitsu. I bet. And it was like, ... And me, it was like, challenge accepted. I cut him off. Challenge accepted. I bet.
Being a girl, if a guy finds out and they don't train, and they're like, "Oh, so can you do this to me? Can you?" And it's like,
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure that's a whole nother set of
Yes.
bullshit right there. Yeah, I can't imagine. I didn't think about that.
their egos start to get, and it's almost like, are they questioning themselves, or do they really think because they're a guy? And I've had guys, it's been a while, and there was a bunch of other girls who had the same guy messaging them, so we all got together and wallow.
Swallow.
No, but I'm a guy, I can beat you because you're a girl, and I'm untrained, and so that's what led to that whole girl against guy. But that was not even the guy that was messaging people. It was some Indian random nobody.
Dude.
I understand that.
And it's like, being a girl, they always come at you like, well, I'm a guy, I can automatically beat you.
Well, do you prefer then dating guys from a gym, or that that they do jiu-jitsu or into sport? Yeah. Then a guy that's going to challenge you when you get home, be like, oh, what you do today? You learn how to do an arm bar? You want to go?
Well, coming up, I've been training for 5 years, and dating has not been easy, because if they don't know the lifestyle, they demand your time, and it's like, no, dude, I got to train.
Yeah,
And
don't go to the
then-
gym tonight. Stay home.
I never really had to do that because I just didn't date. But anytime I would try to start getting back into dating years ago, it was like, between my kids and training, those are my priorities. So it's like, people kept telling me I needed to get out, I needed to talk to people. I'm like, I don't want to. Like, if they don't understand my lifestyle, or they don't fit into that, I'm not stepping out of that zone.
It is a lifestyle when it comes to martial arts, or like if you're really into kind of sports and stuff like that. I think that, especially like jiu-jitsu culture, it really is a lifestyle.
And then that
you try to eat healthy, try to be healthy. You know what I mean? There's a whole weed underground culture to that too, and that has its own place. But it's very interesting. Yeah, a lot of people, if they don't do it, they won't understand how much time and why you put that in there. I think it just goes back to like getting your brain in that flow state, keeping you calm, keeping you even kill. It's a meditation for me. I probably need to start doing the Wim Hof method and
Wim Hof, not Him Hof.
Wim
Him Hof, you think?
I'm gonna duck myself in some ice and chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
I want to learn the transcendental meditation.
What is that?
You want to take trips?
What?
It's not
That-
really like that.
No,
That's
that's
what I was
no
thinking.
that
That's what it sounded
no
like.
that is
No.
that is
Oh, but
that is
I
the one.
take trips
They
every
give
3
you,
months.
so you go to and you can really probably do it on your own, but they tell you probably should go to 1 or 2 sessions and learn the actual proper technique, because they give you your own kind of
Plane-
Yeah.
a
plane ticket?
word.
Your mantra.
Based on your age and all of this other stuff, you get a specific mantra.
Yes.
And then they kind of teach
That's
you how to.
crazy.
They
Really?
teach you how to do it.
Based on your
And
age.
so it's like with your breath. Like, there's one that's sharim. So with your breath, you're like sharim, and you extend it, and you.
And then you rock the kashba.
No, that's
Gosh,
that's
I
the
can't
one.
get over like the whole age thing. Like a different age has a different mantra.
What if I
like
feel
Like,
younger?
I'm like 30, like Roth IRA. You know, just
401k.
Stocks.
But no, I'm
Investments.
sorry. But
That's
please
funny.
continue though.
That
You're
is
older,
the
you
one.
gotta get
That's
aggressive.
the one where you can get to a state
Meditate.
where
Yes.
you start having visions.
Basically, it basically clears your mind in a different way than other types of meditation. And it's actually supposed to be really helpful and beneficial for people with PTSD. And
Yes.
it helps them
Wow.
process the memories into a certain part where it affects them less.
Have you guys ever tried the float tank before or not?
Yes.
I want
Oh,
to.
God, I want to.
I've heard about it.
Do they have one in Jacksonville?
Yes.
I know
They
there's one
do,
in
they
Tampa.
do,
Yeah, they do. I've been meaning to go to it, but I haven't,
I did it in Atlanta. Me and when Rogan went to Atlanta, my dad got his tickets and flew me up there.
You and Rogan went into a float tank?
No.
Nice.
Did you hold hands?
No, but Dad was like, "We're gonna do a Rogan day. We're gonna float tank,
We're going to hunt.
and then I wish that'd been awesome.
Kettlebell workout.
We floated, and then we had a good meal, and then we went to see the show. And so I did an hour and a half first time, hour and a half in a float tank, and you find out it's super hard to actually relax, to like fully relax.
Just turn off. Yeah.
Yeah, but then once you do, you hear your heart. You hear yourself blink. Like you can hear your eyelashes.
And it's pitch black, correct?
It is pitch black.
Can't
Right
see.
up until you start seeing the little. You'll start seeing
You
like
tripping.
I started seeing like little dots, little globes.
Okay.
And they would start kind of trailing and doing lines and stuff like that. But what sucked is I didn't start seeing those until around, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of the way through. Because time is gone. You lose.
So what's those globes and trails? Did they tell you?
Orbs.
Orbs, whatever.
Yeah, just you start having visuals as you start
So
relaxing.
it's not something
you
that's on your
never-
eyelid?
No.
Or eyelid? Or eye?
But
My
dude, you're-
friend did that, and he said he did it before jiu-jitsu one time and then after, because it's almost a euphoric feeling that you
Yes.
get after you do it. So he's like, I don't know if I should do it before or after, but I'm doing
Is it
it.
because you got all those good chemicals floating after a hard
Probably.
training session? You go sit in the float
Your
tank?
endorphins?
Probably.
Yeah, that's it.
Makes sense.
I would honestly love to do it. Like if I could, smoke a little, and go
Smoke a
and do it.
little.
Hashish.
Drink a little.
Yeah.
Put a
Forget
dip
little.
in. He's put a chew in, man. You'll be good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, then you got to swallow it. That just fucks you
You
all up.
spit it in the water, they won't even notice.
But dude, your body will feel amazing when you're done because you literally just soak in Epsom salt
Yeah,
for an hour and a
exactly.
half.
Bro, you got a pool. Why don't you just put a tarp over it? And
It's not the same.
Then he'll die. We come over for lunch and talk on Sunday. He's all dead.
Just close
underneath
your
the tarp.
eyes. We're all gonna be in this pool with our eyes closed. What?
So-
I think I'm seeing
Chris?
something. Hang on.
Wanna
Are
see
you
a dead
actually
body?
floating, or are you on?
No, you're floating.
Like floating.
There's enough salt in the water where you
Really?
float, and it's the same temperature as your body.
I've always
So
wanted to do that.
after it takes about 5 or 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden you kind of lose the sensation of the water until you like maybe move, but it genuinely feels like you're floating.
would you say that that is the saltiest place on earth?
No.
Besides.
No.
No. So,
That's a meme. I'm sorry.
yo, bitch ass. No. So, I've never done that, but when you said hearing your heart, one of the 2 times I went to cut weight, I attempted to not use the sauna, and I used the hot tub version first, right? And maybe I don't know if it's because I was already dehydrated, but I started hearing my heart, and I can hold still, man. You're supposed to do it for like 20 minutes at a time, whatever. Check it every 10 minutes and jump on the scale. I couldn't make 5 minutes. I was like, nope, I'm going to the sauna. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
have you ever done that method?
Obviously I've never cut weight before, but I have trained to the point where I do hear like my own heartbeat and everything.
Yeah.
And it is kind of a freaky feeling,
So, and
It's,
you had to stay still.
yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. I
Yeah.
jumped out. I was like, that's it. I'm going to the gym.
Well, and I actually, after every workout, I do sit in the sauna for 30 minutes as well.
Yeah.
And I just kind of stretch out. And there's a whole philosophy behind heat shock protein therapy.
Oh, yeah.
Where if you put
Dr.
your
Rhonda
body,
Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Rhonda Patrick. It's where I got it from. Where if you
Okay.
put your body in uncomfortable situations like that, its natural process to combat that is to create more protein synthesis, I think. So all I know is I feel better after I leave the sauna.
How crazy it is that you can find all this information from a podcast.
Dude, seriously,
Well, that's the way of the world, isn't
Yeah.
it?
her podcast now Dad's in their new house. He's going to have a sauna,
Mhm.
because of listening to her
Yep.
and because it's not just somebody telling you some shit. It's all the science that she uses to back it
Exactly.
up, and she breaks it down where you can really understand it. And you're like,
Mhm.
holy shit, this is cool.
This
I
makes
want
sense.
one.
So that 60 grams of protein that I take in from my Lean Impact Nutrition meal will get synthesized
Right.
better when I jump into the sauna afterwards.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Correct,
Well,
correct.
you
And it's
get
going to
the-
aid in your recovery as well.
You get the same thing. You get a different protein from your ice baths. You get the cold shock proteins from the ice baths and things like that. But one of the big takeaways I got from her when she was talking about the sauna was the actual 40% decrease in
Injuries?
no death.
Oh.
Just, natural cause death from people who use the sauna 3 times a week.
Yep.
Just 3 times a week.
And that's what I do.
Their death
Nice.
rate, across the board went down by 40%. because of, not exactly sure why, but, I was like, that's really cool.
If anybody wants to understand it better, they should listen to that Rogan podcast with her.
There's
her last
I think there's 2 or 3.
No, she's been on there for quite a few times,
and they're all 3+ hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a lot to take in, but
he spoils you too, because then when you see somebody like, I think Tim Kennedy was on, I haven't listened to it, but he's on, but he's only like for I think an hour and a half. I'm like, fuck, I want a 3-hour one.
Yeah.
I never do his in one sitting. It's always like I do like an hour to work and then an hour back, and then when I go to the gym.
As much as I'm on the road at work, I get to like literally when we went up to where I went was 6 hours. So I did a couple Jocko ones on the way up.
That would have put me to sleep.
Well, but what's funny is the guy that's riding with me it's kind of funny. He's an older gentleman, and he's pretty small, but he was in Vietnam. He was special forces.
Vietnam. Is he one of the Vietnamese people?
He was a special forces operator over in Vietnam. They did dark shit. I didn't know any of this till
he could kill you with his bare hands.
He can. He literally can. And I didn't know this years ago. And somebody in a building, he was taking care of something for me, and somebody approached him and was really giving him shit.
So taking care of isn't like burying a body?
No. We had a receiver that he needed to work on, and I was gone.
So he does cell phone towers now?
Yeah.
That's pretty huge.
And so the guy approached him and was being a real dick to him, and it really pissed me off. And I was telling Kim, I was like, dude, I'll go up there. I'll beat that motherfucker's ass. I'll take care of you.
Aggro. You're not supposed to have that. You need to train more.
he's this was years ago, but he was, he's a small, kind of easy-spoken gentleman. And then I told my boss about it. And my boss has known the guy, 30 fucking years. He just starts laughing. He's like, dude, that's the last guy you need to take care of. Yeah. He's like, because this, and this, if he was in any danger, he would have just went ahead and killed the guy. I'm like,
just, pressure point sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was funny on the way back, we actually listened to the Jocko one on Chesty.
Oh, yeah.
And he got a fucking kick out of that one. He loved that.
Jesse Puller's son.
Yeah, no, we listened to the one on Chesty. We didn't.
Chesty.
We didn't do the second part with his son, but he loved it. He just absolutely loved that episode. He's like, man, I gotta start listening to some of these podcasts. I'm like, they're not all like this, but this one I thought you would really like.
Yeah, Jesse Puller's son ended up losing like basically all of his limbs and was burnt. It was bad because he went into the Vietnam War or whatever, and then
I could tell you whenever,
a deep one for sure.
Yeah, I could tell you whenever we all got NASA badges because we had to go onto NASA because we have a tower there. The rest of us, our background checks, you get a colored badge depending on where your access is. So, my badge was like a green and stuff like that. Well, when they ran his background, they didn't run it off of his civilian background like they should have. They ran it off his military. So he turns around and he gets the badge to the point to where he could actually go and touch the shuttle. And he's like, he gets it.
I'm going to go touch it.
Yeah, well, he gets it. He got it, and then he saw it, and he realized the mistake they made. So then he wound up taking it back to NASA. He goes, I need to turn this in. This is, you need to give me the proper badge.
What a good dude.
And they were like, well, that's all access. And he's like, yeah, you went military record, not civilian record. This is me now.
That's weird, man, because like my clearance, which is just secret, it expires every 10 years. So I'm surprised he still has that.
Yeah, he got the black one. His badge, because he sent a picture of it too. He's like, that's a mistake. I was like, well, what does that mean? I don't even know what that color means. He goes, I could go up and touch the shuttle. I'm like, oh shit!
While they're turning it on.
Yeah.
Be like, can you take a friend?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, dude, that's a crazy place out there. We've been out there a few times. It's crazy.
I want to go back to Ben Askren.
Okay.
Because I have a dream matchup for him. Him and GSP.
Yeah.
What do you think about that match?
I think he would wreck GSP.
Yeah. Yeah.
He would grind him.
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing, though. So Askren's what, 170?
Yeah.
So GSP would have to come down, though, right?
Well, GSP...
Or would Askren go up?
GSP is normally fought at 170.
But I feel like the older he's getting now, I mean...
Well, he did his last fight at 185.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to get that 185 belt. But normally, that's what he fights at 170. He was a welterweight champion for how long,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Askren definitely has him in the... That's not to say GSP's not a good wrestler.
Yeah.
But Askren, I think, definitely has him there. The game changer could be GSP's jab, though. GSP is a master of keeping distance, and I think with Askren's style, he's got to get close to him. I think his shots, he has to kind of smother GSP, and I think GSP can throw that jab. It'd be a good matchup. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like you said, it would be a dream matchup.
Yeah, that was the thing. I think I remember watching Matt Hughes fight, his last fight. It almost seemed like that the MMA game had kind of went past him because he used to have those amazing, he could shoot double leg you from across the ring back in the day. And then it seemed like everything started evolving. His game didn't change. He'd still try to take that shot and just get lit up each time. And that's what because I know Askren, he's not a striker. He's, almost pure wrestler. So that's what would worry me with GSP, though, is that GSP could just light him up every time because that's all Askren's got. He's got that to shoot in, drag him to the ground.
Yeah.
So,
but it's so wild, though. It's like the evolution of the sport. I mean, it wasn't a couple years ago. We're talking about the whole karate style is kind of taking over now. Like the Darren Till, the Conor McGregor, the
Machidas.
Machidas, Wonder Boy Thompsons. But now look at it. It's more of the wrestling type again. We're talking Khabib, Daniel
it almost
Cormier.
seems like it goes
man.
in circles.
It does go in circles. It's kind of wild how that happens like that.
Yeah, because Machida even though Machida just won with that nice
that was
dude, he killed that dude.
that GSP jab, Josh Koscheck was never the same after that.
No, he most definitely was not. But his face is broken.
Yeah,
so.
he broke his orbital bone, and he was never the same after that.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to love to watch Josh Koscheck fight, and then all of a sudden he wasn't the same guy. It's like he couldn't see, like he kept like rubbing his eyes.
It's like he lost the whole left side of that peripheral vision.
Yeah,
and that was primarily from just
from the GSP fight.
Good, healthy jab.
Yeah,
just
eating jab after jab. That's what my favorite. Even though he never was really good, but like my favorite fighter I used to love to watch was Lieben.
Oh yeah,
Chris
Well,
Lieben.
how could you say that he wasn't good?
Well, he never made it to the top.
It doesn't matter.
I know
That
he
doesn't make
was good, but
He was
never,
good. It's just that he's a brawler style
Yeah, he was a
fighter,
brawler.
and that doesn't.
the longevity.
Listen, he
goes
was
up
in the
with it.
longevity is
UFC,
definitely
so
gonna be
he,
a lot lower.
he was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he wasn't good, but I'm just saying he got to that level, but he was just never able to take the next step to get up into like top 3, top 2.
And that's the majority of people in the world.
It is,
But
it
to
is.
even get to the UFC alone is just a huge accomplishment.
But the beatings he took,
Yeah.
were
Oh, yeah,
just,
that was a war.
oh my god!
His
single
brand of
time.
fighting wasn't really conducive to his health for sure.
No.
And he didn't do himself any favors either. I mean, he talked about it on some podcast I'd heard that he was alcoholic, drinking hard,
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
drugs,
those kind of
all
things,
during
yeah.
that. So he was doing the John Jones stuff before
John Jones.
John Jones just did a lot better. I don't think Lieben ever got on cocaine though.
Probably.
Probably.
Think again.
Yeah.
John Jones could do it, and
He
then
was
still
open
perform.
about it,
He's
yeah.
such a freak
Yeah.
athlete.
Yeah, insane.
That's a shame though. I mean,
So do you think John Jones would actually smack Kobe Covington if you talk shit to him in his face?
I still want to see Colby smack Rogan.
No, Rogan answered.
No.
He's not going to smack Rogan. Rogan's like, bro,
that's
don't
a
smack me,
show.
man.
I
Don't
know.
smack
that's
me,
a
man.
front.
Yeah.
He's
So-
just talking.
What do you guys think about that whole card then? Because we got Stipe. Wait, no, I'm sorry, that's not the card. Who's fighting on that whole Chicago card?
Pull it up,
It's-
Chris.
It's Colby is fighting RDA. Happy
Yeah.
Adesanya.
Yeah,
So I think
he's got to watch out for RDA.
RDA is a beast, man.
Yeah, he's got some hands.
Yeah,
for
his
sure.
performance against Lawler too. I mean, I think Lawler was hurt with a torn ACL or something,
Yeah,
but still, he looked good against
still.
Lawler.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
But that was impressive, though.
Yeah.
Nevertheless.
Lawler's one of those guys, like, it doesn't matter what he's not pulling out. He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
All right,
He goes
so
in, torn ACL.
So all right, so you're Chicago. You've got Whitaker, Romero,
Oh,
Yoel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's gonna be
Dos
dope.
Anjos,
Rematch
Dos Anjos, Covington, Holm versus Anderson, Arlovsky,
against who?
Arlovsky's fighting that dude from Australia, right?
Bam Bam.
Tibera,
Yeah.
Marcin Tibera.
Dude, he's still in there.
Arlovsky, dude.
You got-
He's changing his game. He's a wrestler now.
Yeah.
His last fight, he was wrestling. I was
Yeah.
like, what's
Hey,
this?
keep it safe.
Yeah,
Keep it
no,
safe,
for
man.
sure.
Don't take those shots
We
no
do
more.
Longevity.
we do have one fight I think is going to end in a death. We have Alistair's fighting Curtis Blades. So one of those two guys is going to wind up dying.
Alistair
Listen,
got-
Alistair's
is he gonna
knocked out
recover?
in his last fight pretty bad.
Bro.
But Blades is a primarily wrestler, though. I mean, I see Blades taking him down and just smashing him.
Yeah, I hope so because I mean I don't think
Overeem was probably
Overeem's
like, hey,
soul's
listen, man,
come
I'll do
back.
another fight, but I can't be doing another heavy strike.
no
Fuck
uppercuts,
that.
no uppercuts can be thrown.
uppercuts.
Man, that was scary.
That was so
You know, his
nasty.
head was up.
That
He was
was-
looking.
I heard Halyukin. I mean,
No, I was gonna say I was like a Street Fighter, like fatality, like Mortal
there was
Kombat,
fire out of his
man.
fist. There's some shit going on there. Jetpacking his ass. I don't know what happened.
Rashad's fighting that card.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, she's
What-
still
what-
fighting.
What weight?
205?
He is fighting.
Gotta fight at 205.
What is the weight? Yeah, 205.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anthony Smith.
Okay.
I Oh, jeez.
and then
Still doing the damn
Benavidez, Pettis,
That's gonna be a good card.
Clay Guida's fighting. Green.
What?
The Carpenter.
I
Yeah.
thought Guido wasn't he retired?
I don't
No?
think he
No,
I just haven't
actually.
seen him fight.
Never.
I don't think he
Yeah.
officially retired, but he kind of. I think he stepped away from.
All right.
a
So
while.
what about CM Punk? What is he in the prelims or what?
No, he's on main. It looks like he's on main card.
Damn right he is.
Okay.
It's in
The
Chicago.
main card's huge.
Has to be.
I mean, the main. It looks like because they don't have it broken up, so I'm not exactly sure. But the main card's 3-6.
Well, and the Holm Anderson fight's kind of intriguing too because they really need Megan Anderson to do well to try to give someone Cyborg, because Cyborg has just been cleaning out the whole division.
We've
So-
got one of Art's favorite fights. We've got
Megan-
Gedalia
Megan Anderson
and
she's from
Carla
Australia.
Esparza. Or how do you say it?
Esparza.
I don't know why they say it's my
Monster.
favorite fights.
Because it's a girl fight.
Wait, is that the Cookie Monster? Right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Cookie
it's
Monster.
Yeah.
She's really good friends with Felice Herrig.
I love Felice.
Oh, yeah, you
Herrig.
big Felice
She's
Herrig
such a
fan?
sweetheart.
Nice.
She's a sweetheart.
Her Instagram's fun.
Oh, I got that.
Her Instagram is fun too, but she's actually a good person.
She's cleaned up her Instagram a lot.
We do have a heavyweights. We got Rashad Coulter versus Chris De La Rocha.
De La Rocha hasn't fought in a grip.
Yeah, we got a 245 against 265er.
Oh, he's cutting to 265.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, you could tell by the pick.
I forgot. I just saw Rashad Coulter fight somebody. It was on Fox Sports 1. It was like a recap show. I forgot who he fought though. But yeah.
His
Cool.
KO is 100%.
Oh my God.
He's 8-3, so he's won 8 fights by KO.
Well, that's how Carwin was. He was 12-0 at one point
Well,
with 12 knockouts.
That's because he was throwing canned hams for
Berserker
hands.
just coming right at you.
Yeah,
Apparently,
Oh,
he
he
has
survived
the
that
biggest hands in UFC history.
behind Brock.
Behind Brock?
I'd say
Behind Brock.
too, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Brock, because that was one of the big things they talked about when Brock came in, that they had to
Quadruple X
make
gloves.
they had to make
Yeah.
his
The
gloves.
5X.
Yeah,
So do you think
because
he's coming back too?
he'll come back for a big payday fight
I
and
think
get
so.
an
Against
exemption
885 for sure.
Well,
I
that's,
thought he
that's
just-
the big thing is he signed the WWE because I follow wrestling as well.
Yeah.
He signed the WWE contract, but they didn't really state how long it's for. It could just be for a couple months until he defends his title one more time, and that's it. And then it's the UFC. But the thing, and getting back to Jeff Nowitzki, where he's got to go through ASADA, I think, for 7 months and test clean before he can actually join the
Supposedly.
UFC.
Yeah, so you said bring up that story. So,
Well, no,
tell us,
so-
tell us what the
Yeah,
business
let's talk
is.
so
about him.
when I went to Vegas, because we had to do the promo and stuff for the fight coming up for the Contender Series, and Jeff Nowitzki, aka the Golden Snitch, as he's known by a lot of people, was there talking to us about supplements. And dude, I was sitting in that meeting, and I'm like, I might never take another supplement again because just the way he was like describing it, like he had a list of things that you could take, and there's things that are questionable, and then
Right.
things that you shouldn't. And dude, I've been taking stuff since college, like the same
Right.
stuff. And I'm like, well, what about this? He's like, is it on the list? I'm like, no. He's like, nope, don't take it then. I'm like, well, okay, man, sounds good. Like he just basically shut down. Like I'm taking 6 different things that I can't take anymore. And
So,
it
so
wasn't
like, is it like creatine, BCAAs are okay?
well,
protein
no, so
powders
like
are okay?
all that stuff's okay, but it's by the companies who make them. So like for
Wow.
instance, like I was taking like a BC branched amino acid
Yeah.
from a company that wasn't on the list of approved
Approved.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's like, yeah, stop taking it right away, or else you're test positive. I'm like, well, shit, okay, sounds good.
Really?
And
Yes.
well, even that, and like probiotics. Like I was taking a probiotic, and it's just like gut bacteria.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing
Cold
illegal about
medicines have been
Yeah.
banned
And he's
because
like,
of their
it.
manufacturers.
Who makes it? I think it was like Nature's Son or whatever the brand
Yeah.
was. And he's like, nope, not on the list. Don't take that. I'm like, well, damn, man. Like,
so
I had
you're
to
going to
change
take
my-
all the same stuff, but just from
I
different
had to take
companies
I
now.
changed my whole supplement game, yeah, and
Wow.
switch stuff around.
You just need to go get you some kimchi and shit
put the
like
fear
that.
of God in me. I know. Well, some kimchi, some kombucha.
Yeah.
Some
Bro,
fermented stuff.
I am on a kombucha kick.
Oh, it's the best.
The best
Like,
shit
I've been
stuff.
spending so much money on kombucha. I'm like, what? Why am I spending so much money?
Yeah.
Because I love it.
It's literally one of the biggest things I tell people is like, look, if you go and you get sick and you go to the doctor and you get antibiotics, it's like, that's cool. Take them, run them out. But then as soon as you're done with them, just go and eat some kimchi, start drinking you some probiotics, start, everything. Try to get as much back into your system because there's nothing in there now.
Yeah.
So me and my dad are both big believers in that. So we drink, I got, kefir downstairs.
Got your garlic.
Yeah, I do my honey fermented garlic,
Oh, nice.
stuff like that. So
I'm
But
just
yeah.
wondering, is your dad adopting people anytime soon? Because I want to apply.
I don't know. I have to ask him. He
wanna-
just got back from Spain Thursday.
Daddy, take me to Spain, which
This is how much he kills me because he actually got to go to Monte Carlo, and Mom actually asked him because the race was going.
Oh,
Do you want tickets to the race?
man, your
And
mom
Dad was
bomb.
like, nah.
Are you kidding me?
And I'm like,
What?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck do you mean?
How do you
nah?
turn that down?
He's
That's
like, eh.
It's a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
It just wasn't a big thing to him. And I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah,
how are you?
Racing's not a big thing to me either, but it's like
It's still, it's Monte
Monte
it's the
Carlo.
GP.
Monte Carlo.
Yeah, it's the GP of Monte Carlo. And it was
Dang.
tickets on the corner. The corner.
Is that the corner where everybody dies?
No, it's the corner where it's the one hairpin in Monte Carlo overlooking the ocean and all like that. I mean, it's the corner of Monte Carlo. And he's just like, nah. I'm like, fuck
Dude, that's
that.
like-
She
The
should have
legit-
bought one
legit,
and
like-
taken a local.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
like giving him the chance to go and drive the
That's
the
insane.
Nuremberg ring. And they just go, nah. I'm good.
Those gotta be hard tickets to get. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like Brad Pitt couldn't even like get that ticket. You know, what I'm saying I'm Brad Pitt, but like,
And
yeah,
it's-
this is Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
Sorry,
He's just
son.
like, I'd rather go walk on the wharf, look at all the yachts, and we could just go and do this and that. And I'm like, dude, you pussy.
I'm kind of with him though, man. I'm not really into racing, but I guess
Well, no,
like,
no.
life
Listen,
experience
I don't-
itself is just
I
would be
don't-
kind of a cool thing to say. Yeah, I
Well,
did that.
It's like going to the Derby, like the the horse racing.
Yeah.
Derby,
Yeah.
Kentucky Derby. Like,
They did that.
I couldn't give a crap about horses, man.
Yeah.
But like,
Oh, he
the
just
Derby.
he
looks
just
legit.
loved the whole he got the whole Derby suit put
Okay.
together. I mean, he
Yeah.
went to somebody, it was like, hey, I'm going to the Derby. What do I need? And they spent like 3 hours putting together this whole Derby suit. And
A hat.
they did the same thing
You
for
need
my
a
mom.
hat,
They
yeah.
did the dress with they had a hat made for the Derby, and they had a blast.
That's like
there.
a thing, right? For the females, they get hats made
Yes.
for the Derby.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's like a thing.
Yeah,
And
that's
for that reason, I'd never go.
yeah, because that hat was
You're
like
really into
a
hats?
few grand.
Not like
Oh.
that.
Yeah, no, it's not. They're not cheap
They're-
hats.
I've had some friends go and they make this whole big deal in the hats and the dresses.
And you're never gonna wear it again.
I just couldn't.
Like you can't wear that shit out in public. Like a
No.
giant
I
ass hat.
couldn't
Like, what's
care
that for?
less.
You gonna go to Publix wearing that hat? Like, no, I don't
Listen,
think so. Like,
if I pay $2,000 for a hat, I'm wearing it to fucking Publix.
No, they had
No, you can just wear it to Walmart, and everybody can wear it. You can wear it to Walmart.
there was a video
People
of a
Walmart.
horse eating the hat. Like this lady standing next to the horse,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden,
Hilarious.
I'm wearing it. $2,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, for one day, for one event.
for one experience.
for like 2 hours.
Yeah, no, it is a because you only
Well,
think
it's
that
probably
the-
like TPC.
That's a
Everybody
different
goes
level
for the
of
whole
money that
day.
I don't-
There's a bunch
I
of
don't-
races.
yeah, it's money
I
I'll
can't
never know.
understand at this point.
Yeah,
So,
me neither.
you know what I
That's
mean?
that's almost like a mortgage payment.
That is
That
two
is a
mortgage
mortgage.
payments.
Yeah.
Mortgage payment?
I'm like, fuck that. That's like 5 car payments for me.
Yeah.
Maybe
Hey.
6.
Fuck.
Hey, if the thing is if you've got the money and you can spend the money and enjoy it and not put
True
yourself
that.
in a bad
I'm
spot.
not gonna
knock
hate
yourself-
on
Oh yeah,
knock
people.
yourself
it's
out.
just a different
Yeah.
world. Like when I hear the surgeon that I work with start talking about money and her houses and all these other things, I'm like, this is it's in the way that she spoils her kids.
It's a different level.
It's a different world. I was like, I had never had that ever growing up, so I can't even relate to you at all. But go ahead, keep talking. About this amazing house that you
Yeah,
have
tell
and how
me-
your
tell-
kids got cars and they're not even 12 yet.
Tell me about your
Right.
Porsche.
Tell me
What
about
is that little T mom?
Yeah, she got. Have you heard the story on her?
She got fired.
She got fired. They come to find out that all that shit's basically fraud.
What happened?
Little because
happened?
what her mom was a real estate agent.
right.
So all those the mansions and all that shit that Little Tay was in her videos and throwing money. Those were all houses that were up on the market for sale.
Oh.
That wasn't.
I believe it.
well, how is it fraud though?
Well, she's a fraud because she makes it out like
Okay.
this is my car. These,
Yeah.
all I just know.
Well,
those were cars in the house.
Obviously, she was a fraud. I mean, her rapping skills didn't get her that. Like, let's not lie.
No.
She rapped? Wait a minute. What?
Yeah, she rapped.
Yeah, come on.
Oh,
Who
I
are we
thought she just
talking
talked
about?
crap
Little
and
Tay.
made videos about
You
throwing
haven't
pies
seen
in
Little
people's
Tay?
face.
I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I
I don't
can't
wanna
do
go
it.
down
I won't do it.
It'll only upset
Look it up yourself. You know,
But
Yeah,
there's like
but
a
not now.
bunch. There's like
Supposed to
a
be a
bunch of them like
family-friendly
that,
podcast.
though,
It's on
right?
silent.
Oh, there's
like
well,
3. You've
It
got
seemed like it
her-
started with like "Catch Me Outside." Girl,
It did.
You know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then it went on from there.
Then you got the little, the one
That-
little ghetto girl with the curly hair. I can't
Yeah.
remember her name.
yeah.
And then Lil Tay. And then
Yeah.
Logan Paul was part of that group and shit like that.
But Logan Paul had a following on YouTube though,
Logan Paul
Used
too?
to when he had a YouTube.
and now he's transitioning over to a podcast.
Yeah, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to play
Can't
out.
wait to not hear that ever. Man.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know
I'm
this
really looking
name.
forward to
I'm,
not listening to that ever.
by the way that Austin's making it seem, I don't ever want to listen to that name.
no.
Was he the dude that recorded the guy in
suicide.
the suicide?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what ended his YouTube career. And but the thing is he was making 6 figures a month off YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Well, hey, if you invest that money right, you're okay.
Probably
If we can make $60 off of YouTube, I'd be so happy. This guy was making 6 figures.
Oh, right. We almost got another mic.
We make $60 off YouTube. We're putting that shit on the wall.
But it's such a crazy setup these days now with these kids, like you said, Logan Paul and like the Lil Tay, where it seems like they post things and more people actually hate it than love it.
Yeah.
You know, they get more dislikes, but they're still getting the attention.
Still getting the views.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in
But
a
is
way,
that, is that healthy?
absolutely. I mean, it takes a special kind of person to endure that kind of abuse and that
Yeah.
negativity to make it for your own personal gain, I guess, because they're being successful at the end of the day. I mean, it depends what your term of success is.
If I'm making 6 figures off of YouTube, please hate on me all you want.
No, for sure.
Because I'm going to be like, I'm stacking my paper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
but it's a whole different thing with young people with kids.
Oh no, it's absolutely. It's the horrible thing is the fact that I have a 3-year-old. You know, like when he gets older, I'm not going to let him watch because this is not how you're supposed to act.
Yeah.
No,
Like, this is
definitely not.
fantasy.
Yeah.
like this is an illusion.
Yeah, well, not only that with the negative, because last year my daughter Tika, she's 13. They got into the Musically thing. It's where you do the videos and you lip sync. It was cool. No.
I
But
thought you were talking about something
no. So
else.
she did that for a while, and she got like a pretty big following of people on her little thing.
Cool.
But then she started getting hate,
Mhm.
and you just saw she wasn't used to it, and it happened so fast that we literally had to have the conversation after it happened.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, this is not real.
Yep.
This is not how things are. This is not life. Don't take this as a snapshot of this is what life is.
Mhm.
Because it just broke her down. Like, these people hate me.
Actually, we just kind of talked about that. It's really when people are looking, via social media or whatever, and they can throw out these super, super nasty comments because you're not real to them. You're just a video or you're just words or you're whatever.
Just a
But to your
picture, yeah.
face,
Yeah.
it's very hard for them to do that. Now,
They don't have
if-
the
if
balls.
it's a special breed
to
of
say
asshole
anything.
to
No, it
really
is.
do that to someone's face and
Yeah.
seeing
Well,
that
I'm
you're
sure you
natural
dealt with
human.
that.
No, absolutely. I have dealt with that. But getting back to your point I wanted to make too was the fact that, so we have these, and I don't really want to call them celebrities, but we have like these figures in society, these kids that are just going off the rails saying this outlandish stuff, not acting right. But the media and us in social media, we want to comment on it, we want to hate on it, but that's giving them more power. Like to me, it's like the whole T-Rex philosophy. What happens if you see a T-Rex? Don't do anything, and then shit'll go away.
Yeah.
Like if you see something you don't like, just don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like don't report about it, don't hate on it, just don't do anything, and then they lose their power, and then they'll go away because they won't be famous anymore. And that's just kind of the catch-22 that we found ourselves in these days.
Yeah.
Now, getting back to your point as far as the hate. Yeah, I mean, when I played football, I definitely got a bunch of haters and things.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I'm sure you
But,
hear it from the stands. People hollering
dude,
at you.
I mean, but
Well, I mean,
I'm so
know.
sad. Like it never bothered me whatsoever.
No, well, there again, you're an adult, you're older, you understand it, and you're like, whatever. This person that's hollering this at me means absolutely fuck nothing to me.
Exactly.
But
like you said, with your, I mean, when you're dealing with kids, it's
she's
definitely
thinking
a
these are all
different ball
friends.
game.
These are, they're following me. That means they like me. And then all of a sudden the hate comes in and it just breaks it all down. And you're like, no, sit down. We got to have a talk.
Well, you got the 12th man, the audience on the field trying to disrupt the other guys. Of course they're going to boo and say stuff. Like when Cam Newton came into the league. Hey, did you return the laptop?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I mean, I used to do the same thing at the hockey games when we would go, man. You would holler and yell, and the thing is if you ever got them to react, like we were riding these this minor league team from Rockledge one time because they were playing here in Jackson, minor league stuff, and we were just railing to the point to where when they were leaving in halftime, the coach actually turned around and started trying to come up the stands, and we're just laughing because we knew we got to him.
Yeah.
But then come the end of the game, I would have walked up to him, shook his hand, told him, hey, good game, man. Y'all played a hell of a game and stuff like that. It was nothing serious. It was just, I'm just trying to get
under your skin
to break, maybe just make you make a mistake.
Exactly. But there's always a line, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, like I remember when I was in high school, my senior year, we're in the playoffs for basketball, and we're playing at, it was a town called Colby. And, there were some racial slurs that were getting thrown around during the basketball game.
Yeah,
that's a strong line right there.
Yeah, so I mean that was the line, So
hop right on over
we
there,
actually
bitch.
we had to get police escorted after because we ended up winning the game And it was obviously a high intensity kind of game, and we had to get escorted out of the gym after that game just because there was fear of something might go down and stuff like that. So there's definitely a line you don't cross. I feel like race is one of those things. I think family is another thing.
Race is so easy though too, because everybody will just pop into it.
Absolutely.
It's easy to blurt out. It's easy to say, and it has the most damaging effect.
So and I'll truth be told, I actually almost got in a fight in Oakland. We played the Raiders. This was my second year. We're playing in Oakland, and one of my good friends and teammates, his name was Tyson Alualu.
Yes,
Yep.
Tyson. He's in Pittsburgh now?
He's still in Pittsburgh doing his thing. Well, the dude was, saying some things that he shouldn't have been saying in Oakland, and I turned around and just basically told me, shut the F up, you know? And,
Fuck the Raiders.
Yeah, basically. And, he chopped back, so I started chiming back, and I literally tried to hop the railing and get in his face.
It happened here last year with Seattle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I'm thankful, my defensive my defensive coordinator kind of saw it. He's like, you want to play? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, then get down and let's get back to work.
Yeah, because at no point when you turn around and say, hey, fuck you, does that ever de-escalate the situation?
No, exactly. No, for sure. But that was the thing. Like, if the dude was talking to me, I wouldn't have cared. That's fine. But like when he was talking, because Tyson's the most stand-up dude you're ever going to meet in your entire life, man. Like, the guy's just...
Who was someone with Samoan like that? He was going to the training yard to hit pads with Dean for a while. So, I mean... Yeah. He was working on his hands, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead. Go get some of that.
But, I mean, they're so humble, though, too. Like, they're never going to instigate anything. They're pretty quiet individuals, usually.
Well, I think a lot of people, like, if you attack me, you say shit about me and all like that, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. But if you say shit about one of my friends or something like that, and I'm like, oh, no, now see, that's bad. Yeah. Don't do that. Yeah. So it's weird how we can take it. Yeah. But then, we see one of our friends or somebody we like, they start hitting and we're like, oh, no, now I got to react.
Like, I mean, I always root for the hometown team. And yes, I will boo the other team, but I'm not going to go, as far as, screaming obscenities and stuff like that. For what?
Oh, you can be
I see it because, I mean, the people next to me might. And I'm like, oh, boy, I'm sitting next to that guy.
Oh, yeah. Those are always fun.
Of course, you want to boo. Yeah. You want your team to win, but at what cost,
Well, and then the thing, too, is, like, there's kids at the football game sometimes, too, and things, So, like, there's also the line there where, like, do you even take them anymore? Because, like, things get pretty crazy. And
we haven't, I've went to one Jaguar game, and I just don't like going to things like that. Like, we went to the Monster Jam once.
I was at Monster Jam, too,
It was cool. Yeah. But it can be a cool experience depending on who's around you. Yeah. And what's around you.
It's not a tribal team versus team.
Yeah, but it's still a lot of just drunk ass rednecks talking shit to each other. And then you've got
Bigfoot ain't no good.
It's like 4 hours long, man. I mean, my son was having a blast. Like I said, he's 3 and he's got his favorites. Like he likes, the Gravedigger one and he likes the zombie monster truck. So he was all about it.
You'd be surprised the garage that the Gravedigger comes out of. Because up in North Carolina, that's where they are at.
Oh, right on.
So whenever we went vacationing up there, that was kind of one of our stops. Yeah. We went to stop by the garage where they do. Dude, it is just a metal shed garage. It is not. It is not high tech. It is none of that shit. It is literally just a family that puts together these monster trucks.
Well, and here I am trying to explain to my son because, like I said, he's a big Gravedigger fan, and we went to Monster Jam this past year, and Gravedigger like blew his transmission in a matter of a minute, so he was out right away. So my son's like, "Where's Gravedigger?" I'm like, well, son, there's this thing called a transmission, and it blew, and there's the rules where they got to get it fixed in time, and I'm trying to explain it. He just wants to see it. I'm like, can we just get Gravedigger back out there? Just put him out. I don't care if it's not running. Just put him out there. My son wants
Get out there, push him.
Yeah, just push him. Just drag him behind a tractor. I don't care. My son wants to see Gravedigger. Yeah.
Whatever you have to do, bring him out here.
Yeah. I will hop the fence and go to the pits myself if I have to. My son will see Gravedigger.
You know what? They would probably bring him out. They'd be like,
oh shit, it's Austen Lane. Get it going. Get it crunk up.
So do you still like go to the games and stuff like that here in town?
Yeah, so it was always kind of a weird thing to me. When I retired, I didn't go to the games right away. It wasn't a fact like I would get the urge to try to, I want to play again. It wasn't like that. It was just the fact of it'd be just a weird feeling to go back someplace I spent so much time and all of a sudden I was gone and I go back again. So I was kind of hesitant at first. And
you feel like you're on the outside.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. Like I'm looking through the other side of the glass now or something like that. And And granted, Jacksonville fans are super cool, but I didn't know like how they were gonna, accept me again. Like, oh, hey, Austen Lane, like I heard you sucked this, it's stuff like that. So I was kind of hesitant to go. So this past year, I went to a training camp. I took my son. Yeah. We went, and that was great. We got to go on the field, meet some of the players. He was all excited, and I saw some of my old friends. And then I actually went to the Bills game, Bills playoff game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I got in my mind where I wanted to go do the tailgating thing. I wasn't drinking or anything like that, but I wanted to go walk through the tailgate because I always got invited to. And, I'd always say, I'd come out there sometime, go through the tailgate. I never did. But finally I did, and everybody was super cool. And at the end of it, I finally decided, like, what took me so long to even do this? I don't know what I was so worried about.
Well, it's a gamble because I know, like, when we went to Guns N' Hoses last year and Blake Bortles came out to talk about his charity that was doing something, that dude got booed just mercifully the entire time he's in the middle of the ring, just talking about, thanks for coming out. We thank you for supporting us. And I mean, people are just boo. I'm going, holy shit. Yeah. And he took it like a champ, sat up there, said his thing. And I'm just like, dude, that's got to be just so
gut-wrenching.
Yeah, I mean, you're out here to talk about a charity. Yeah. Nothing to do with the Jaguars, and people are just fucking hammering you from the get. Yep. It's like, yo, if I was him, I'd be like, no, I ain't fucking going outside. No, I'm not coming out here with the fans. Fuck that.
I don't like that there may be one or two people out there that don't like me. I can't imagine feeling that kind of
an arena.
Arena people,
You know what was kind of a trip was because I had a pretty big Twitter following back in the day when I played for the Jaguars. I was super interactive. I always try to be funny, make people laugh. When I got cut from the Jaguars, all the people started coming out, well, going to stop following Austen Lane now, like he's useless and things like that. Yeah. And you finally realize that people appreciate you more for what you do than who you are as a person. Yeah. And that's just the way it is. Not saying it's right because it's not, but I understood that. I understood that they don't hate me as a person or they don't dislike me as a person. It's just the performance on the field. And that's probably the same thing with Bortles. Like, they weren't happy with what he did the past season, even though he did pretty well, I thought. Yeah. But whatever.
He did great.
Yeah. But you can't hate him as a person. And that's what I realize.
It might feel hard to differentiate.
That's who you are, man. That's what defines you, right? So, yeah.
I hate to keep harping on the Jags, but how do you see them doing next year with the run that they had last year?
Dude, it was awesome I think so. The last time I was here was right after the playoff game.
Yeah, the day of the playoff game.
It was the playoff game against the Patriots, which was sad. But dude, it was super great season last year. I see them doing the same thing again this year. I don't think any team in our division is going to be able to stop us. I say us because I'm a Jaguars fan, So
you hear that, Blake? You hear that? Yeah. No, I'm talking about a different Blake who's a Titans fan.
Oh, okay.
Austin says nobody's going to stop the Jags, not even your Titans. If you got something to say,
especially not the Titans.
If you got something to say, come talk to Austin.
Well, I think the biggest swing that happened for the Jaguars is when they finally got Coughlin back. Yeah. And they finally got Coughlin back into the organization.
The whole attitude changed.
Yeah.
Right?
The whole attitude about everything.
So I think the problem they had before him was they cut a lot of veterans and they had a really young team. And there wasn't a lot of leadership. They had Puzz there, middle linebacker, but Puzz isn't really a rah-rah kind of guy, right?
Yeah, he's more of just let me just do my job.
Leads by example, which is, that's kind of the same way I played. So they were really missing a lot of leadership. And then when Coughlin came in, he changed that whole culture around, and all of a sudden you saw some of the young guys starting to fall in line a little bit. And that's not to say they still have they still have a swagger. He didn't take the swagger away.
No, swag's fine.
Exactly.
Discipline, though.
But just the discipline and the whole attitude changed. And you definitely saw that last year. I think it's going to continue this year.
Well, you come from New York with a couple of rings, and you demand, that discipline. There's people going to listen.
Yeah, there's some respect that comes with that jewelry. Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And plus that was one of the biggest things whenever the Jaguars had a chance to get him back and they passed all those years. And it's like, a lot of us were like, you idiots. And then we just went into the drought of just, just suck.
Well,
Coughlin's up there just ringing them up.
For many years, they wanted him out. They were like, get Coughlin out of here. Coughlin out of here.
Yeah. Well, he ran his course. He got us up into the playoffs when we first came. The team first came around. And see, I'm saying we, and I hate people that do that.
No,
you're good. Because then
until we die.
Yeah. Because you'll have people like, oh, I didn't know you played. Like, fuck. Because we did that with
it's different. Austin played.
Yeah, Austin played. He could say we.
Used to, though. But
still,
there, my friend.
The royal we. me. Yeah.
Yeah, you stepped on the field. I have never have it for the Jaguars.
Not even on a tour.
No. No.
It's kind of like it's a thing that I kind of was busting on some people about getting like tattoos of like their college football team on their neck, and I was like, oh, you went to that, because they're talking about our team, my team, so on and so forth. Oh, you're on the team? No. Oh, you went to that college? No. I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, this is coming from a guy who has a Milwaukee Brewers tattoo on his back right now. So,
but my point is
but I'm
like,
going to explain myself in a second.
yeah, my point is that like, you know, I mean, we're you know,
Backpedal, backpedal,
Yep.
backpedal.
No, there's no backpedaling. I mean what I say.
You say
The average person, like, you know what I mean, they feel like they have to have some sort of belonging, so they kind of gravitate towards these teams, and they're like, this is my team, this is what we did. I'm like, you didn't do anything, but you know, follow them, and that's good. I think that's great.
No, for
you
sure.
know what I mean? But it's I could never follow into that. So sometimes when they do that, I bust their balls.
No, I was just giving you shit about the whole thing, but I do have Milwaukee Brewers tattoo on my back. But the whole meaning behind that is, so my whole back is a tribute to where I'm from in Wisconsin,
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So I'm about 2 hours away from Milwaukee, but I always associated.
Right? No, just kidding.
Well, and it's funny too, because I actually have the girl, the what do they call it, the Lady in the Moon, the Miller High Life girl.
Yeah.
I actually have her on my back as well.
Oh, nice.
So so they're all memories associated to, you know, growing up in Wisconsin, and one of those was the Milwaukee Brewers, because, you know, my friends used to always get together, we used to sit around, eat sunflower seeds, watch the Brewer game. So I am a big Brewers fan, but I have that tattoo more of just for memories, as opposed to I mean, I like the Brewers, yes, but I'm not a diehard like rah type guy. But yeah, that's what I meant by that. But I was just giving you shit.
I'm seeing Auburn like tattooed, and they're not even from there.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So I'm kind of like, well,
Well, I mean, down here, like in the Southeast, you know, college is a whole different thing. So, I mean, you've got guys who are just like, there's a friend of mine who's a Gator fan. If they lose, his week is shot. Like, we'll be at the house. We used to go to his house, and they lose. Everybody just fucking leaves because he's getting ready to throw a fit. And it's like, dude, you never went to UF. So come on.
So growing up in Wisconsin, I mean, Iowa State's a pretty big football culture up there. I had no idea how big the SEC culture was until I came to Jacksonville. More specifically, the Tim Tebow effect.
Oh, dude.
Did I tell the story with
No.
the Tim Tebow story last time I was in here with Tyson? Okay. So just to try to paint a picture quick of how crazy that was. So Tim was in the same draft as I was. You know, so he went in the first round. Tyson Alualu went, I want to say, like pick number 9 or something like that. I think Tim went after him. So we're in Jacksonville for the first week. We just got to town. All the draft picks are in town, and we get a cab. So we get a cab. Don't know where we're going. We're saying, hey, can we go to a shopping center? Cool. So he takes us to the St. John's Town Center or whatever. Mm-hmm. So this guy has no idea who we are, mind you. He could have put 2 together, but he didn't. So I'm sitting in the back. Tyson Alualu sitting in the front, and the other draft picks are sitting back with me. And the guy goes, so what are you guys in town for? We're just like, just a business trip, you know, just hanging out. And he's like, you guys Jags fans? And we're like, yeah, we follow them a little bit. Yeah, they're all right. and the dude goes, I'll tell you what, that fucking Tyson Alualu. And Tyson's sitting right next to him. The guy has no idea. And I'm like, you know me, I'm the instigator. I'm like, what about him? And the guy's like, should have got Tim Tebow, man. I was Tim Tebow. And then, dude, I'm sitting in the back. I'm like, yeah, I totally agree with that guy. For sure. And like I said before, Tyson's such a nice guy. Like, he didn't say anything. I mean, he's super humble.
Yeah.
He's quiet. Didn't say anything to the guy. And the whole time, I'm like, yeah, I heard Tyson kind of sucks. So I was a bad draft pick and stuff like that. But like, dude, that was literally our first week in Jacksonville.
Oh my God.
We got bombarded with that.
He caught so much hate for the longest time just because they took him over Tebow.
Yeah.
It didn't have anything to do with how well he played.
Yep.
Anything. It was he was the bastard that got picked instead of Tebow.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, dude, so many people, Tebow, because, you know, he played just down south of here, you know, and I played high school football here. I remember seeing him, hearing about him, all like that. And then when he played for the Gators, you know, I'm a Gator fan, so all that. So I've known Tebow for a long time. Mm-hmm. And even I said, he would be really good. It would be actually not drafted when he was released. I was like, they should get him. If anything, because we weren't selling tickets, nobody was going to get him, and you will literally get 3 states of people coming to the games.
Yeah,
one just to see Tebow.
Yep,
because he's got that just aura.
Some sort of.
He had like the highest, or almost one of the highest, like jersey.
No, it was the highest.
It was the
like,
highest,
and that point alone.
Yeah.
just to bring him would have gotten.
And like I said, like from the outside looking in, I had no idea it was that big in the state of Florida. I remember.
Oh, he's a god.
So before I got drafted, before I got drafted, I played
still is.
No, he still is for sure.
Go to hear about his golf tournaments and shit like that.
Right.
I mean, you have celebrities that come from everywhere to play in Tebow's.
He had some influence on me moving to Gainesville,
See,
just
there you
because
go.
I had followed college football when I lived in Alaska, and then we talked about moving, and my ex had wanted to go to Tallahassee. I was like, no, Gainesville. Like,
I'll never forget. I ended up playing the Senior Bowl. And so the Senior Bowl is the best college players in the country play. So Tim was on the South team. I was on the North team. And I guess I realized how big it was at that point when it was autograph night. So the way they set it up was our game was on Saturday.
Yeah.
And Friday, you know, like the kids could come out and get autographs. We all set up. We all each had like our booth, you know, because our college was there. So being from Murray State, it was only me. The Florida Gator booth had a bunch of people in it. But I was right next to the Gator booth. So I was like, oh, Tim's going to be right next to me. That's pretty cool. Well, Tim didn't show up because I guess Tim was sick.
Yeah.
So there was like, and it was pouring rain, I remember, in the hotel too. There was like 200 just crying kids in the pouring rain that came in that wanted to see Tebow that were bawling their eyes out because they couldn't. And they were walking right past me. I'm like, here, have a Murray State sticker so you could see Tim. Like, go Racers. Like, it was just, it was insane.
My
to me,
buddy's
man.
got pictures. He's got pictures on his wall where he stood in line to meet Tebow.
Yeah.
Got his picture with Tebow. Then at another time, he stood in line to meet Tebow.
Yeah.
Got Tebow to hold his son. And I mean, these are pictures on his walls of just Tebow, like with his family. And I'm like,
See, I am the minority in this because I can't even wrap my head around like.
So, and here's the thing too, like, it's one thing I feel like if you're a kid to get a picture with, like, you know, it's, we don't have to talk about football. We can talk about any kind of celebrity, whether that's an actor. Man. Yeah, but it's kind of a thing if you're a grown ass man, you're getting pictures with these celebrities. I mean, isn't that kind of, how do you guys feel about it?
I was weird as shit. I was just, because I've met some celebrities. Because I used to run, I used to work at a video game store in the mall. Mm-hmm. This is back when Keenan McCardell and Jimmy Smith played. So they would come in through the mall and come get a video game, and people are just swarming them. This is when they were, big time players. Yeah. And everybody's swarming them and just freaking out. And I'm just like, hey, how's it going? Here's your game, stuff like that. Yeah. And then you could see how uncomfortable they were. So then I was kind of nice. I was like, hey, if you want, here's my number. Here's the store number. Call me. Mm-hmm. Tell me what you want. Cause they'd come in, they always, buy like 6 of whatever released. Mm-hmm. I was like, call me. I'll go ahead and ring it up. I'll have everything in the bag. And then you can just ring me when you get here. I'll just go out the back door. And I'll just hand you your shit, and you can go. I did that for a lot of players, and you saw the difference between they were kind of veteran players. Mm-hmm. They were like, ring me every other week. What's come out? Yeah, let me go ahead and get that and come through the back. And then some of the younger guys that would come in, oh no, they wanted to come through the doors. They wanted to walk through the mall, up and down. They wanted to get all the big groups of people, and they were just like, I don't want that. Just, man, I appreciate you just letting me come and get this shit out the back so I can dip out. And Tebow has always had that, just people running to crush him. Yeah. And he's always just been like, hey, how's it going?
Grown-ass men, too.
Yeah, grown-ass men.
Kids, like grown-ass men. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
See, to me, like the whole taking the picture thing, or the selfie is obviously the big thing. To me, it's like going to a concert and recording it, like on your cell phone. Like, you miss out on the experience of just having a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Like if I saw a celeb, I can't think of one off the top of my head, like Tom Hardy. I'm a big Tom Hardy guy. Yeah. Like, Tom Hardy's a shit. If I saw Tom Hardy in public, my first instinct would be like, dude, like, I loved you and whatever. He was in, what's the one where he's in jail?
Bronson.
Bronson, thank you.
Yeah.
Dude, Bronson was insane.
Excellent movie.
Yeah, it was just absolutely mind-blowing. I try to talk to him. Like, my first instinct wouldn't be like, whoa, check this out. I met Tom Hardy. Everybody liked my shit. Like, I'd have a conversation with them. And it's kind of like going to a concert I see all the time because I go to music festivals and everyone's got their cell phones up and they're recording it. Like, how many times are you going to go back to your cell phone and like, oh, check this out. I was at Coachella and it's on a 12-inch, like a small screen. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was the thing this year is like everybody went to Coachella just to let other people know that they were at Coachella.
Yeah.
It's like.
I am guilty of that. I went to EBI and I saw Frank Mir. Frank Mir was like, before I got into jiu-jitsu, that's how I kind of got interested because, you didn't get him around here that often. Mm-hmm. So I saw a Frank Mir fight early when Mir locked Peter Williams and kind of like, I want to do that. Yeah. So I saw Frank Mir and he was, chatting with some people and taking pictures and I'm like, fuck, man, am I going to be that guy?
You were that guy?
Hey,
I've done that twice with Cyborg.
I did.
I did. I got a picture with him.
Romero?
The girl or the
No, the guy.
Okay, I got you.
That's right. He
down
knows
in
you well.
Miami.
Yeah.
He was super nice, chill, like he's intimidating looking, but then he's talking to everybody, and I was like, I really want a picture with him, and everybody's getting, and I was like, but, and so I just was like, hey, can I get a picture? And then the next time I did it, he was kind of to my back, so I was like, and I took a secret picture.
So yeah,
You've done him.
Oh, dude,
You've done him.
kind of like bury
He
myself.
doesn't know, but you're there.
No, dude, I can bury myself right now if you want me to. I mean, I have a story of getting a picture that was just embarrassing as well.
Oh, by all means.
Okay, so this was my second year playing football, and do you guys know who Hope Solo is?
Yes.
yes.
Okay,
I know.
so
I know.
so
I was
she
like,
no. So she played soccer for the U.S. national team. She was the
The
goalkeeper.
goalie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, dude,
Smoke.
top
Smoke
five,
show.
right? Smoke
Smoke
show.
show.
Yeah. So we were at an ESPN party and she was there. I'm like, shit, like this is my chance, you know. I'm like, I'm play it cool, man, because she was on Dancing with the Stars. I'd be like, hey, I like you in Dancing with the Stars. That was crazy. Never watched that shit in my entire life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna act like I did to try to start a conversation with her. So I go up to her, and granted, I probably took about 2 shots of tequila before I did it.
Like,
I go up to her. I'm like, hey, what's up, Hope? My name's Austin. She goes, I know who you are. So now I was not expecting her to know who I was.
switch.
So that threw the monkey wrench into the whole game plan. Now I'm just, it's an audible. I'm like, oh shit. Like, I didn't expect you to say that. So I was
Don't
like,
run it. Pass it. Pass
no.
it.
So I'm like, oh shit. Like the ball's coming. What do I do with it? And I strike out. I go, oh, nice to meet you. I just want to get my picture with you. So I got my picture with her. Dude took a selfie, and I just walked away with my head down. And just dejection of my friend that was with me is like, what the hell was that? I'm like, dude, she knew who I was. I panicked. And so we ended up just going outside, and I had my head down. I remember it was like, I was getting consoled and everything. But so I've done that before.
Well, that's pretty sucky because she knew you. Frank Mir didn't know who the fuck I was.
No.
I got 2 selfies. One is with Boss Rutan, which I had to do.
Actually, I feel like you have to.
Yeah.
I do think there are people out there that's like, no matter what.
That's a
just
good
like,
point, man.
He's a
Show your
legend.
kids,
He's a
yeah.
legend in the sport that we like. And,
True.
And then one with Tony Ferguson, but I was out in California, and it was
cool,
a
nice.
10th Planet party at the time, so I was there.
Yeah, I've seen other people, and I'm like, there's Hulk Hogan. Cool.
Yeah.
There's Billy Kidman.
Yeah.
So
cool.
So I guess getting back to my point, I guess it's the fact that if you pay to stand in line
Yeah.
to meet somebody, as opposed to seeing somebody out in public,
Just
Yeah.
happened to do that.
I feel like that's kind of a different thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I won't do that.
And it's not
that thing
cheap.
is also depends on what they're doing. If
No.
they're like busy, like eating or with their kid or something like that.
Yeah,
I
I can't-
don't address
I
them.
can't do
Point
that.
in
Like I saw Dave
case.
Chappelle, and I looked at him. He
Oh,
looked
that's
at me, and I was
legit.
just like, and it's right here in 5 points. I was like, I know. First he nodded to me, and I was like, all right, that's all I needed.
That's all you needed.
That's all I needed to know. He
Dave,
saw
man.
me, he nodded, I'm good.
Awesome.
I went to UFC 93 in Vegas, VJ Penn GSP, and we're walking through the Caesar's Palace, whatever, and we see in one of the restaurants, we see Lyoto Machida, and my brother's like, oh, let's go ask for a picture. I'm like, bro, he's hitting.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
No, I can't do that.
So we never took a picture with Lyoto. I'm like, nah, man. But we took one with Clay Guida.
There you go.
Yeah,
he,
Greg Guida. Oh,
he was super nice. He was super
we brought
cool.
him up twice now, right? So the way that he fights, like, throws me off, man, because I don't know what the hair is doing. Reminds me of the Muppet, the crazy drummer. I'm just like, oh my god, which way is he coming?
The first
Yeah,
time I
he's
saw
animal.
him fight, I was like, who is this? He's a fighter?
It's
What
just
is
hair.
he doing? Yeah, it's just...
Well, here's the thing. When he moves one way, his hair's going the other way. When he moves the other way,
Yeah.
so you're like,
Well, and doesn't that distract you a little bit? You would
Totally.
think?
Well,
Remember
your
Benson-
hair.
Benson
Does
Henderson?
your hair...
So
interfere?
So I always have my hair tied back tight, and it's kind of like in a bun a little bit,
Yeah.
so like it's never in my way at all. But like I remember, like Benson Henderson, I think he's still,
yeah.
he's in Bellator now. Like he used to always like during the fight, like kind of slick his hair back.
Yeah.
I
But it
can't
happened,
stand
like-
it. It made me want to
But
shave
he
my
also
head.
fights with a toothpick in his mouth the whole
That,
thing.
yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like that guy's on a different level.
Yeah,
when it
he's
comes
just
to
like-
craziness.
How did
Fighting
he-
with a toothpick in your mouth. Yeah,
That's what he does.
And Clay's another. That's a wrestler. He still does wrestling.
Well, he's a wrestler, but he's also just he's a
he's a madman.
his fight against Sanchez, Diago,
Yeah.
which I don't know how that was in the fight of, because remember the UFC had like the countdown of best
Yeah.
fights ever. I think
Yeah.
John Jones and Gustafsson won it, maybe.
What?
If
Really?
I'm not mistaken.
See, I've seen better. I mean, that was a war.
There was that one. There was the Forrest Griffin
And Bonner.
Bonner one I thought was better.
Yeah, because that was like the first war we ever saw.
I'm sorry, you know what it was? It wasn't that one. It was Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz too.
No.
People voted, but you get it. Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
He's people are going to vote for that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been
I
quite
think
a
Diego
few.
Sanchez has been through the nastiest of wars,
Jeez.
and just other than that one knockout, right? He's only been knocked out once, right?
It has one of the most aggressive it used to have one of the most aggressive walkout.
Oh God.
So aggressive.
Anytime
Good
anytime you start mixing the Holy Spirit with your walkout, dude, you're about that life.
You got a whole new level.
Yeah.
When he got split by BJ Penn, I was like, oh my god.
I think that's the one where
I saw
Rogan.
a skull.
Who just got their head split? So I think it was by a knee or something.
Oh no, Venom Page crushed another dude.
No, that was
It was the eye. It was
And then
like
he threw a Pokeball at him.
he
yes.
did.
Well, he just did it again to somebody. He crushed somebody else's face.
Oh, did
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, he
shit.
crushed another dude's
it was like
face.
2 weeks ago. The guy's whole you could almost see his brain from his eyebrow.
Well, I mean, if you want to see cuts like that, that's what amazes me. I've heard it on Rogan before, but it does make sense. Like Muay Thai doesn't get like any play in the U.S., but I mean,
Lion fights
still, but it doesn't. It's not like as popular as a lot of other. I mean, hell, people watch King of the Cage more than they would watch a Muay Thai fight, but those guys just get gashed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, every fight. I mean, there's blood all over the mat because you're throwing elbows so much more, knees. What are you looking at? You got that look.
No, I'm listening.
Okay. You got something to add. I can tell.
No,
I can
keep
see
going.
it. No,
Keep
go
going.
ahead.
Something with
Go
Muay
ahead.
Thai. He's about to hate on it.
Yeah, I love Muay Thai. I'm about to hit. Austin, is that what you think?
No, I'm just Here comes the hate.
These guys with their football teams all tattooed on them. They don't even play football.
Throwing those knees. And
My
knives
team.
together.
No, I love knees and elbows. And
Yeah.
Hey, one of my favorite knockouts was James Irvin and what was his name? Houston Alexander. That 8-second Superman punch.
I don't think I ever saw that
I've
one.
seen that one.
I don't think I saw that either.
We'll have to look it up.
Yes, it was 8 seconds.
Just
That was
Superman
it.
punched him off the bat?
That's it.
Huh?
One
There you
punch.
So that's what you need to do.
I guess so.
And then you got Wallow speechless.
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh shit! It took him 5
3
seconds.
You got to do it in less than 8 seconds.
I know. So literally,
no pressure.
literally
No
thinking I'm
pressure.
going to tap my glove into Superman punch. I'm
Yeah.
like, put my hand under
UFC.
psych. Yeah.
It needs
But,
to be a front rolling stand up super punch.
There you go.
Shit! And then when you look into the camera, I see I did it. I told you.
Wow, what up?
You know,
Give it a
some
wallow.
weird openings have been what's his name doing the flying sidekick,
Flying sidekick.
heavyweight, yeah.
Fabrizio Verdum.
Fabrizio
Yeah.
Verdum.
Oh yeah.
Flying
yeah.
sidekick from the rib, and then cartwheel kicks.
Yep.
Bunch of weird, unorthodox stuff, man, from the
Yeah.
rib that people are doing. So,
Wild
have you ever
stuff.
thought about that? Have you ever been like, you know what, I'm gonna do some crazy?
No,
shit
for sure.
Go big or go home.
We always talk about that all the time. I mean, I definitely got a flying knee cocked up, just waiting to unload on somebody, you know.
Ooh.
But
And you don't even have to jump that high to get it to their head.
No, thankfully I don't. You know, so I think eventually, maybe some spinning. I can throw some spinning stuff as well. So
Let's not
the
give
time's
out
right.
his game plan.
Well, I know. I'll call it crazy shit. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
Yes, I
it's
have some crazy shit in the
Uh.
chamber, but haven't had a chance to use it yet. Yeah.
Are you
So-
gonna? Go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
was just gonna say, so because fighting is a form of entertainment, do you think about things like that to make a fight better, not just skill wise, but entertainment?
Yeah, I say I do, but then when I go in the cage, that's the last thing that's on my mind. I was like,
Yeah.
I better make this shit look good so people like it. I think being a heavyweight obviously helps me out a lot because the KOs usually do come. As long as I think I'm knocking people out, people are going to watch. People, right, wrong, or indifferent, want to see violence.
Well, are
pretty
you going in looking for the knockout, or are
Absolutely.
you just looking for the win, no matter how you get
So,
it?
I never go in looking for a knockout. But it always seems to happen that way. I'm just going and looking for the mistake. And
Okay.
once I see the mistake present itself, I capitalize.
Boom.
I think one of the things that you have, and you're not the shit talker guy, which is what I like. I like that. You're not that. But you are really articulate, so it's easy for, he likes shit talking.
No, it's
Wallow's-
all
he's
good.
like, oh, well,
he
what
has
do I
a-
know?
look at his shirt. I mean, he's got the Ric Flair shirt going
Yeah.
on.
Woo!
Yeah.
This is my favorite shirt, so I wore it specially for this podcast. So.
Right on.
But do you have something planned for after you win? When they ask you, like, so how'd you feel about that fight? You're like, well, it felt amazing. Duh. It's knocked him out in like 4 seconds.
like a script or something you're saying like that?
Yeah, do you have some sort of...
You know what? So, like I said, I do a lot of visualization. So I always do, when I visualize the win, and then I visualize, the guy talking to me after the fight. So I have visualized it before, but every time I visualized it, it's gone differently than in real life, what happens. So, no, usually what I say on the microphone is just kind of off the cuff and it's genuine because that's what I want to bring to the table. Some guys are blessed with the gift of shit talking.
Gift of gab, yeah.
I could be like that. I feel like I'm articulate enough to, I'm pretty witty as well. I could talk shit if I wanted to, but my whole thing, and like I said before, the reason I got in this sport is to be the ultimate form of self-expression and to be who I am. So I'm not going to put on some facade like, Colby Covington. I mean, he's doing his thing. He's talking shit and people know who he is. I feel like that if I just keep on knocking people out and I keep doing it in the way that I'm doing it, people are going to know who I am.
Okay. Yeah, because if you try to shit talk and you just don't have that skill, you look
Well,
you look and you sound so bad.
Well, how cool would it be, since he's so articulate, to like outsmart somebody with smart shit talk?
Well,
Like,
here's the thing.
funny.
What does that big word mean?
If someone talks shit to me, I will talk shit back. Like, I can talk shit. It's just, it's going to come from a place that's genuine.
Yeah.
Like, if someone says something bad about my team or my family, then I'm going to talk shit and I'm going to let you know how I feel about it. It's not to say I'm not just going to be this humble dude who, I'm excited for my opponent. Nothing like that. No. Like, if it escalates like that, it's going to be genuine, though. It's not going to be a fake thing. And that's what made Conor McGregor so special, man, is the fact that he took the gift of shit talking and was able to back it up to the utmost level.
Yeah.
And that hasn't been replicated yet. Colby Covington's trying to do it.
A lot of people are trying.
But you can tell it's definitely a fake facade.
Yeah, he's trying. Have you already thought about who you're going to call out? Or are you going to call everybody out?
Oh, yeah.
You ain't got to say it. I mean, don't say it. But I mean, do you have that name that you want to?
I don't have a name, but I definitely have some sort of dialogue that I'm going to try to say.
Okay.
But like I said, I could just freestyle and go off the rails.
I'm just waiting
for you to come. It could be a home solo thing. It could be another home solo thing where I take a selfie in the ring and be like, "All right, well, we'll see you guys later." All right, UFC. So we don't happen. And that's why you should tune in to see.
You imagine something happens and he goes like completely 180. And just goes like chill sonning on it.
Just starts talking shit.
Oh, and so mad shit.
Chill
Be like,
gangster style.
completely gangster. We're like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's what's up.
Be like, shit, Austin went hard.
Who's our boy from here, from Florida? God, what's his name?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name though. They fought the UFC.
Know his name, yes.
It just lost.
Mike Perry?
Mike Perry.
What if you pull some Mike Perry shit? That would be that's totally not your character at all, by the way.
For sure.
It's not your character. So if you pulled some Mike Perry shit, I'm like, Austin. This is actually really entertaining.
And that's the thing. Like, I got to realize that if I do do something that's not me and it's a facade, and I do that, then I got to hear about it.
I know you're gonna get some
my
hate.
friends.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go back to Wisconsin one day. My friends gonna be like, "So what the hell was that all about?"
What's up, Hollywood?
Yeah, that wasn't you.
Like, hey man, I'm just trying to make some money. I'm trying to fight in the UFC for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Well, at
I'm
least
trying to
enough
sell
make
tickets.
Big money fights, right?
Yeah.
So do you think Mike Perry, do you think he's an actor? Do you think he's just a wild card like that?
I don't know, man.
Because it seems to me that he's just kind of like maybe a wild card like that.
think
But when
he's a
I've heard
wild
from him
card.
before, when I've heard him talk to regular people, he sounds like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
All the normal stuff that real martial arts.
Well,
fighters
again,
are.
you're not going to go through Walmart challenging people.
Yeah. I know. But you know what I mean? You kind of get a sense of a person's
You're
kind of
stereotyping now,
character.
Art.
Maybe a little bit. Well, no.
So yeah, I mean,
Be careful of that word.
I've seen Mike Perry before. I've never actually talked to him personally, but from what I've heard, he's a stand-up guy when it comes to interacting with people, and I think he is a wild card. I think he's kind of a wild and crazy dude, and that's his whole thing. I don't think it's really a fake facade that he's putting on. I think that's literally who he is, dude. Good, bad, or indifferent. I mean,
I think so,
and
too.
if that's who you are, I'm all for it, man. Like, I'd rather
Fake
see him.
handshakes.
Yeah. I'd rather see him act like that than do something fake. I'd rather see him act like he's acting than try to put on like this whole church vibe where it's I want to thank my Lord.
That's a good way to flip it. Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's who he is, and I think that's who he is.
It's
More
those
power to
churchy,
you, man.
it's those churchy people you got to watch out for.
Well, I'm not trying to put it in one category, but
I heard Austin said you got to watch out for church for sure.
there's extremists in every single group.
Absolutely.
Yes.
John Jones did that, right? Like he tried to be the
Yeah.
the
was gonna-
real
That's
what I was
stand-up
referring
high
to.
road.
Oh yeah.
And then everybody was like, "What the fuck
Dude,
are
just
you doing?
just be the villain. It's okay.
Be the villain.
Just
Yeah.
embrace it.
Embrace
And
the
he
heel.
ended up doing that for sure because
Yeah.
DC was like, "You're fake, John Jones."
Well-
John Jones was like, "No, I'm not."
Well, I forgot how the quote went, but he's like, "I beat you and I did cocaine like
Yeah.
a week before I fought you or something like that." Like that was like the ultimate heel turn, and that was like, dude, I love that. I mean, that was on social media.
Yeah, because that
forever,
wasn't fake. He was like,
No,
no,
he's
I,
like,
I beat your ass
hey,
doing
I didn't-
cocaine 2
I
weeks
didn't
earlier.
really train that much. I was doing cocaine and I beat your ass.
Apparently, he didn't train that much for Gustafsson either.
No.
I think
I've
that's why that turned into a war, though.
Yeah,
'Cause
he
he-
took him lightly.
He
yeah.
took him lightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I say it and I say it all the time. I'm so jealous of that dude. I wish I could have been him.
Right.
Oh man,
Give me
just
that
have
body.
He'll have that skill set, and then just
An 84-inch reach.
fuck it up.
Just
Oh my god, he can
ridiculous.
punch you from across the table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go slap him, Colby.
Well, they were teammates. They were in college together, I think.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what that's what I hear.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where it stemmed from, right? Was
Yeah.
Colby Covington was talking shit about John Jones in
Right.
college or something like that. And yeah, I forget how that all went down.
You gonna catch another boomerang?
Well, so here's the thing.
Oh yeah, he had a bag that had a boomerang thrown at him. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happened over
By who was that?
Fabrizio
That was
Verdun.
Yeah. Well, so then here begs the question. Let's say Colby Covington loses. What happens to his attitude now? Because, like, getting back to my point.
He's too far in.
yeah.
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
He's got to keep it. He's got to
I
keep
guess,
it up.
but so that's the thing. So, like, Mike Perry's lost before. Mike Perry hasn't changed who he is at all because
Nope.
that's
Yeah.
who he is. I truly
Yeah.
believe that. With Colby Covington, man, it's definitely a facade. It's definitely fake. Like, do you think he changes his game?
Nope.
Or did he,
I think he doubles down.
Doubles
But he
down?
doubles down and just takes it to another level,
Yep.
huh? Okay.
Well, he's got to get another fight after that.
So is that kind
you
of
know?
like what they said with Ronda, right? Ronda kind of, she was win, went to the heel route and then lost, and then kind of like
It's
petered
kind of
out,
funny
right?
because the previous fight before she lost, she had somebody get in her face, and there was a post about the insecure people is those that are yapping and getting in your face.
Isn't that
and blah,
Betch Correa?
blah. I think so.
Okay.
And then she did what she posted, and I'm like, why are you acting like that all of a sudden?
Yeah,
And
went
then
after
she
Holly.
snuffed Holly, with
Well,
the whole
that-
handshake.
That's what it
and-
was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. And then, do you think Joanna Jędrzejczyk had that kind of similar situation because she was like, "I'm the
Man.
boogie woman," and all that stuff?
See,
to,
look, that's a great point.
Rose.
Look how her attitude changes at the second fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shit, second round.
That second standoff between her and Rose was totally different than the
completely
first time.
Yeah.
It was like, "Hi, nice to see you." A lot
Yeah.
more respect instead of being in her face, going, "The boogeyman." No.
Yeah.
And Rose was still just fucking
Saying the
stone
Lord's
face.
Prayer.
Yeah, stone face killer.
Getting back to the Lord's Prayer, that was the scariest thing when she was just repeating the Lord's Prayer. I'm like,
Joe Rogan
Damn,
got
this is-
scared. He's
Yeah.
like, "What are you saying?"
yeah.
He's like, I think she's trying to exercise this shit. What's going on? What kind of
Yeah.
demon pact you made?
Yeah.
But that's who she is, though. So she kept it 100% real.
No,
So,
absolutely. And, maybe Joanna did kind of put on a facade a little
Yeah.
bit for so long. I mean, she was arguably the best fighter in the world for a while, and then she kind of got, put in her place a little bit, and she is where she's at now, and she's definitely
Yeah.
changed her attitude about it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you're not gonna see her getting in somebody's
this
face
sport
like that
will
anymore.
humble you.
Yeah,
Are you-
Yeah, stay humble or you
Is
get humble.
Facebook still up?
yeah. I just switched the internet on 5 is a little bit
Okay. 'cause-
wonky, so I switched it. But if you switch it to 2.4, you'll see it because I'm watching it.
Okay, I was just wondering. I just got a message going, "Hey, are y'all still going? I just lost the feed."
That's sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, we're still on.
That was Dad.
Oh,
Tell them to go to lrtlk.com because we're on our website as well.
oh, nice.
what?
Yeah,
The biggest platform of them all.
that's right. We are.
Worldwide.
If you don't know, now you know.
Now you know.
Did you guys talk about the Amanda Raquel fight last week?
Is that?
Oh,
Who's next?
about
Ooh.
yeah, he doesn't watch.
I don't
women
know.
fight.
I was asking Lalo.
Oh,
Yeah.
Woo-doo.
I don't pretend to know people. Sometimes I'm like, yeah. No.
You're talking
No,
about
title fight.
you're talking about when she asked the corner to stop the fight,
Kind of, yeah.
Oh.
and they didn't.
the
They
buffets.
pushed her out there.
Yeah, I haven't
And
watched
then
the
her
fight
face
or
is, like, broken.
I haven't watched the
Yeah.
fight or seen the replays. I just kind of read a little bit that a lot of people. I know Big John talked about it on Rogan's,
She's
and I haven't
begging
heard
to
it.
stop the fight
Well-
after the fourth.
My opinion, here's all that matters. She said
Yeah.
that she's glad the fight didn't stop.
Yeah.
And
After the fact.
And that's what Rocky
Yeah.
said. Well, yeah, that's what Raquel Pennington said. My opinion is the fact that, that the coach-fighter relationship, it's one of the strongest bonds, that you can
Right.
have set aside to a family member. So I think that guy, the coach knew her better than anybody. If he thought that she could go out there, then So be
So
it.
I've seen different reports whether she broke 8 bones in her face or 0. She's
I don't
claiming
know.
0, I think, is the last thing I...
Yeah.
But
'Cause I
at
can't see
that
a-
point, if she did have 8 facial fractures, as a coach, would you still push your fighter to keep fighting?
Well, he doesn't
didn't
know.
know
He
that.
doesn't
No,
know
but
that.
if she
Yeah.
her face was busted.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But I mean,
And
we've
yeah,
seen
you
that's
don't
a
know,
really-
but
If she really wanted out, she would went to the ref and said, "Call it," and that's it. And then the fight's over. All you got to do is go to the ref, say, "I'm done," and it's over.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
she went
yeah.
to her corner and she was, talking, and I don't know.
because I don't see where I couldn't see. I mean, granted, there are bad coaches and stuff like that, but I couldn't see a coach willingly keep continuing to send their fighter out, knowing that they're just getting them hurt.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
except
think.
for Ronda's coach. But
Well, I mean, she's a
Head
different
movement?
animal.
Well, you don't know that.
Head movement.
But I mean, I don't
Ronda's
see.
coach sucked, and he threw her in that telling her she's a great boxer, and she's not.
No, he just didn't give her the information she needed. He kept telling her, "No, you're doing good."
But no,
you're
I'm
doing
just
good."
wondering, as a coach, where's that line? Her face was fucked up, whether they knew or not that she had any fractures.
That's a really
is
tough one,
different,
and,
but
and I think Austin hit it when you
Yeah.
your coach and your fighter, they have a communication. They know each other really, really well, so on and so forth.
But do you agree that
Unless
it's
you're
their job
just
to protect her?
irresponsible, let's say you don't really know that fighter that well, and you're just kind of helping them out. You know,
There's
what I mean?
good
It's
points on
different.
both
It's
sides.
different.
Yes, their job should be to protect them, but if they think that
You've got more in the
that
tank.
you got more and that you can keep going, then it's going to be their job to say,
Was
"Hey."
that a decision, or was that that was a TKO in the 5th, wasn't it?
I
They-
don't know. I haven't
I think
watched
they
I
it.
think
called
they
it.
stopped it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So was she? Do you know? Was she winning up until that point, or was it
No.
close?
No,
it
it was a
even close.
beating.
Okay.
Wasn't
Yeah.
even close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Because I can understand that the coach is like, "You're close. Like you just need to finish this, keep going," kind of thing. If she was close, but if she's
It's tough, man. Like it really, it just depends on that.
Yeah, because
then do
you
relationship
wanna
and
be the
what you
coach
know
that
of that fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
you-
imagine how you're going to feel if you're Kel Pennington and you wanted to quit, and then your coach let you quit, and then you're going to live with your life with regret. Possibly.
right.
Yeah.
I
You know
understand both sides, but I just feel
and
bad.
I don't know
like,
how exactly she was feeling. It
Yeah.
would be so easy if I could just go in her body and be like, okay, well, this sucks. Like, I don't
that
really
could
want to
be
fight.
like lifelong damage to have
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
so many broken bones, and it's like begging to stop.
But you
If she's
would
begging
hope.
to stop, I would have stopped her.
But
I mean, if it was like, let's say I had you in there, right, and then like you're like, all right, I can't do it. I want to quit. I'm done. I'm like, are you sure? Are you absolutely positive that's what you want to do?
Yeah.
Because there's no coming back. Okay, well then I got to protect my fighter.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you lost this fight, but you can come back. But if you're mentally broken, you may never come back.
Yep.
You won't ever have a chance again, and then you would have a real regret then.
I keep hearing that the mental aspect of fighting is the biggest part, because once you're mentally broken, I guess
we've all seen it on fights.
you're not
Look at
going to keep
Ronda.
going. But I've never been in a fight, like Austin or any of those guys, so I really don't know. So do you think that that's the the case where the mental part is more than the actual physical?
Absolutely. I always say fighting is probably 90% mental, honestly, and 10% physical. The whole, how you approach the fight, how you respond to getting hit, those are all key aspects when you're talking about a fight. And I've seen it firsthand too. I've fought against a guy who basically just, broke and kind of gave up, and then I went in for the kill shot. Yeah, it happens, man.
I mean, you see, look at Schaub was one. He was still in, but he was already talking about retirement. Luckily, Rogan got to it. It was like, no, if you're already talking that
Well,
shit, get out.
I mean, anytime a fighter talks about, this is my last fight's retirement, I'm going to bet against him, man, because
Yeah.
you can't have that mindset going into a fight. Like, you have to be all in.
Yeah,
Like,
because
this
the
is
guy
not a-
across the ring,
Yeah.
he's live or die about it. He's not
Exactly.
even thinking that shit.
Yeah. This
Well,
isn't like football or basketball where you can kind of just fake it, a little bit and just keep
and
on
rely
going.
on the 11
Yeah.
other guys. Kind of
No,
shit.
this is a fight, man, and if you're not all in, you're doing yourself a disservice.
I think there might be a few exceptions, like Matt Brown, who said he was going to retire and then just annihilated Diego Sanchez with that elbow, and then all of a sudden,
God.
yeah, I think I'm not going to retire.
That was a murder.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
didn't someone knock him out though too, or something? I thought
No,
someone just beat him
before
Matt Brown.
that fight.
Okay.
He got I
Yeah,
can't remember who beat him, but
I
yeah.
think Cowboy.
Was it Cowboy? Yeah, it was Cowboy.
Yeah, because Cowboy beat the dog shit. No,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say he beat the dog shit. But Cowboy beat him.
Yeah.
It was that's a rough one. Yeah, Mike Brown is definitely
Matt Brown.
Matt Brown. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a whole. That's
There's
a whole
Mike
different-
Brown actually. And
He's a
Jamie
coach.
Harrison trained with him
Yeah.
previously or whatever. But yeah, no, Matt Brown. Yeah, he's
The immortal.
He's a rough and tough dude, man.
Yeah.
That guy just like Copenhagen and and beer.
Like Chris over there.
Yeah, just
If
like
it ain't Copenhagen, then fuck you.
Yep.
Well, and that's the whole mental thing too. With we talk about the Copenhagen with Donald Cerrone, man. Like Cerrone will be like drinking beers and stuff and riding jet skis during like his fight camp, which is
doing deep
it's
dives and shit.
Yeah, just insane to me. But I mean, I guess everyone's got their own way to kind of approach things, And for me, maybe it's meditation. For him, it's going out and living a crazy lifestyle. Like it's like I said, it's mental more than physical.
Did they tell you anything when after they told you, okay, this is your day to fight? Don't don't ride a motorcycle, don't go skydiving. Did they say anything?
No,
like
I didn't
that?
say anything like that.
Okay.
No. And I don't think it was in the contract either. So
Okay.
if I want to, I could.
Because it was in the football one, though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You can't like ride motorcycles.
What was his name? The kid from Miami that was I'm a soldier.
Oh, Kellen Winslow Jr. Yeah.
First year in the league. I guess he was in his contract. Don't ride motorcycles. He was in the actual stadium's parking lot. Crashed his motorcycle and
Yeah.
broke his arm
Oh, the
or
Yeah.
his leg.
Yeah, he didn't really win a lot of fans, did he?
No.
He had the whole soldier thing first, which was just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And
it was-
then, crashing him like his motorcycle in the stadium was another thing too. But
Yeah.
yeah,
He was good in Miami. He was a stud.
he was his dad played a long time too.
Yeah.
Like he had the pedigree and everything.
Yeah,
It was
for
just-
sure.
Once again, the mindset.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
been some real dummies.
Well, what do you think about Johnny Manziel going to the CFL?
Dude's still trying to play.
Yeah, I don't think
know.
I didn't think he was going to get picked up. So I kind of knew that.
I mean,
He
he
was
got
gonna-
himself kind of in trouble.
I know,
way
but
too much.
yeah, he looks like he was trying. He was trying to get back to the other side,
Mhm.
and he was doing all the right things.
Do you think he got caught up in the fame?
Probably.
No, I
mean,
think
the
more
whole-
I think it's more of how we kind of joke and say there's levels to this shit. Yeah, he was great in college, but there's levels to this shit.
Well,
to
he
get
really
to the
didn't
NFL.
get that much of a shot to prove it in
Well, he went to a
Cleveland.
bad. He didn't. He was kind of screwed from the get. I mean, he didn't
Kind of
get.
like
Well,
Tebow.
he didn't
honestly,
get drafted
though-
by a great team.
And that's true, but I think also his mentality again.
Yeah. He definitely didn't do himself any
look
favors.
Look at the way he was brought up, though. He's coming from a family who was big into oiling
Yeah,
and everything
Texas
like that.
money.
I mean, loaded. So, I mean, it's probably a kid that has never heard the word no in his entire life.
Yeah.
And you could kind of see that when he played in college because he got into some trouble there, too. I mean, it's, you're in this environment where everyone tells you the right things, and all of a sudden you go to the NFL and you're by yourself. It's a little different.
Yeah, you don't have that crew.
You gotta
around
get
you
your
all the
big
time.
boy
that crew.
panties
And
on.
the same thing happened to Vince Young. Remember Vince Young playing for the
Yeah,
Titans?
yeah.
So that happens a lot.
Oh, I mean, it's a story that gets repeated. I mean, at least every 2 years, you see somebody come out of college who was this great hopeful and, rah, 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 and then they
Yeah.
get to the NFL and it's like,
Winston.
fuck.
Yeah.
I'm actually pulling for him. I hope he goes to the CFL, does well, and gets picked up back again, maybe, in one of the 32 teams. And, gets his second chance at the NFL.
Everyone loves a comeback story.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I hope that he's turned around and he's not, doing the dumb shit that he was doing.
Well, everybody loves a comeback story, but they like
Well-
if you admit and your mistakes and you kind of lay yourself bare in front of the public, and then they'll always forgive you and let you come back.
Well, and this was like, yeah,
James.
exactly,
Yes.
Game of Thrones.
Yes.
But this was, it was more like self-sabotage. Like it wasn't like
Yeah.
he was out. It wasn't like the whole Mike Vick thing. Like that's a different whole thing.
Well, the Winston.
and he got a second chance. Jameis Winston too. With Johnny Manziel, what was his downfall? He liked to party too much. He said a bunch of crazy things. He would give him the middle finger out when he was playing. It's stuff like that. So it was more like self-sabotage, and that's kind of like the John Jones thing too, where he wasn't really hurting anybody until John Jones hit that lady in the car.
Yeah.
But before that, he was just self-sabotaging himself, And I think if you can come back from that, that's a great story because you're not hurting anybody else. You're just hurting yourself.
I hate to be judgmental, and
What?
yeah, but Michael Vick could never apologize enough in my eyes.
Of course not.
I'll never be a fan of Michael Vick. After that, I love dogs, and to find out what he was doing to those dogs,
Gotta go.
no, there's no freaking way. I'm not. Once you get to that line where you're in my shit list.
Oh yeah, there ain't no
Oh,
coming
yeah.
back.
There is
That's a
no
one-way
coming
trip.
back.
I don't care what you do,
Yeah,
man.
So-
Once that bridge is
I'm
burnt,
Puerto Rican, damn it.
yeah, it's
That's
never,
how we roll.
It's never getting rebuilt.
Then the shit list.
Yeah,
Come
I mean,
out
if
of
you
it.
party and you make mistakes and do dumb shit, hey man, that's that's just part of growing up. Sometimes.
Yeah, that's on you. But if you hurt animals,
yeah, I can't get behind that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just like kind of like maybe a direct reflection of your character. Like, if you think something is less than you, that you can do whatever you want.
We also have to remember. I mean, that's a sad reality of growing up, kind of in that area, that lifestyle. That's just kind of part of it. Because trust me, I mean, unfortunately, it goes on here in Jax. It goes on here further, down around Stark and McClenny. I mean, that shit goes on in Callahan. It just it's just part of some people's upbringing and their lifestyle. I always look at, y'all love dogs. I love dogs. But, y'all's aspect of a dog is different than my aspect of a dog. And that's because of the way I was brought up with dogs and around dogs.
Yeah, I mean, we even say it different.
You do. You do.
Yeah, we say dogs. You say dogs.
I say dogs.
Man, what you got there is a dog, man. That one's good for pigging. That dog right there is good for shooting.
But I mean, that's kind of the problem, isn't it? The fact that in the NFL, does the talent outweigh the crime? Like, well, let's be honest. If Johnny Manziel would have did the whole dog thing, there's no way you'd ever get a shot in the NFL.
No.
Mike Vick was one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. He got multiple shots.
Yeah.
Why? Because he had the talent.
Right.
So it's almost like we're throwing our morals outside the window and saying, well, yeah, what he did with the dogs was bad, but he was a good football player. So we're going to give him another shot.
Yeah,
and you see that all the time in the NFL, man. I think that's another thing that's wrong with the NFL.
Well, I mean, like, what's been the biggest one the last couple of years has just been guys just beating the dog shit out of their wives or their girlfriends and stuff like that. And I mean, the public is like, oh my God, I can't deal with that guy. That guy's dead to me.
Yeah.
But he'll get another shot on another team.
Sure.
Because he produces. Mm-hmm. And then, it's sad.
It's a business, yeah.
Yeah, it is a business. But, people don't always look at it as a business. And I agree. Yeah. I don't think people like that should be welcome back as open as they are.
Without a doubt. And it's another thing, too, where, guys will test positive for illegal drugs, marijuana specifically. Usually it's what you see in the NFL. And then teams don't bring them back in. Why? Because they're troublemakers. They're doing weed. But then you're going to bring a guy back in who, has domestic dispute issues, who
beat the shit out of his wife in the fucking on camera in the elevator. And it's like, nah, it's cool, man.
And you know what? And then we're going to fine him the same amount of games for doing the weed or for beating up his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and sit him the same amount of games.
Like crime is not.
How is that even close to being the same thing?
Well, is he trafficking the weed? Or he's just smoking it to just alleviate some pain, know?
Yeah.
What was his name? Bam Morris? Who was Bam Morris who got caught with like a ton, or Nate Newton. Was it Nate Newton?
I don't know.
From the Cowboys got caught with like a ton of weed in his van.
Yeah, but he's a cowboy, so it's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's America's team.
Shots fired.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, I'm sure you've probably watched some of the documentaries or like the 30 for 30s about those guys.
I watched the Ric Flair one the other day.
Dude, those Dallas Cowboys back in the day were on a completely different level. I mean, literally, you talk about somebody that could go out in Main Street, shoot somebody, and then play that Sunday.
Next week,
that was fucking Dallas Cowboys back in the day. Jerry Jones was like, I don't fucking care what they do as long as they play.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
they got cleaners to come fix everything up after they're all
they did. They used to have people that would come and fix issues from parties.
Call up the wolf.
Yeah, shit.
Call up the wolf. Yeah.
All right, how big's your
Call
drink?
me Winston. Yeah.
How many teeth?
Yeah, I much rather give somebody a pass who smoke weed just because he's trying to get rid of some of his inflammation.
I don't even care if it's that. If he's chilling and eating some chips and shit, watching, Rick and Morty on TV, and he's smoking some weed, it's like, what the fuck is he doing? Yeah, who's he hurting?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'd much rather him do that than be zonked out of his mind on fucking Percocets and Xannies and shit that.
Yeah, but it's so addictive too. It only takes a couple weeks, if that. Sorry, tired.
That's fine.
I went and watched Deadpool this morning.
Oh,
how'd you like it?
Wasn't it? Fantastic.
Great. Yeah.
I heard he was funnier than the first one.
I've heard that too.
See, I don't know. Like the second one was pretty good watch. I feel like. I mean, they definitely took it up a notch.
I think they did for sure.
Yeah,
I like it. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen some of the previews, and I like how they tied in the whole X-Force. Where they're making the X-Force crossover kind of stuff.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
If you like the first Super Troopers, you definitely got to see the second.
That one yet.
The second one is so much better.
Did you guys see the Avengers yet? I'm sorry.
I did.
No,
Infinity War.
I haven't seen Infinity War because I was supposed to go see it, And Nick was actually, whenever he was getting tattooed, I went and hung out with him, and they were both kind of giving me shit because I hadn't went and saw it yet. But I was like, I haven't seen.
So I just gave him all the spoilers.
Yeah, I hadn't seen Thor Ragnarok yet. I hadn't seen Black Panther.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And they were like, fuck that. Don't worry about Black Panther. Just go see Thor Ragnarok, and then you'll be caught up. You'll be good. Yeah. So literally, when we got back, that was a Friday night. Literally, when I saw Amanda that morning, I told her, like, hey, we need to go buy Thor Ragnarok today, so we can watch that. So then we're up, and we can go and see the rest. We watched that one, and there's some other fucking movie we bought that Tyler wanted. Oh, Jumanji.
Oh yeah,
with The Rock.
With The Rock. So we had to get that one because Tyler wanted to see that one, and that was funny as shit too.
Right on.
Nice. Well, listen, we're going almost on a Rogan style.
3 hours.
Almost on 3 hours.
2:45.
Ready to shut this thing down?
So let's.
I know I'm hungry.
Before we go,
get my lean impact
give a
up.
shout out to your sponsors and your trainers and all that.
Yeah, for sure. So shout out to my sponsors. First of all, Lean Impact Nutrition, keeping me fed through this fight camp, getting me ready, giving me the fuel. Also want to give a shout out to Combat Night. For sure. They've definitely been in my corner since day one, and putting on great amateur shows and pro shows in the Florida area. So check them out as well. Also, the Josh Saman Foundation. They're one of my sponsors. Great cause. Check that out. Josh was obviously associated with Combat Night. Solid dude. Unfortunately passed away, but his memory's living on with his foundation. So check that out. And then I think that's it. Yeah, if you want to see me on Twitter, A_train_92, or else check me out on Facebook.
And when's your fight?
Fight is going to be June 12th on a Tuesday, Dana White's Contender Series.
Yeah,
buddy.
Art, before we go, our other sponsor. He's already talked about it, Lean Impact, so we're good there.
BlackHiveTattoo.com. Go ahead and hit them up. Sign up to their newsletter. That's how you get in and get these dope-ass tattoos, especially if you live in Jacksonville. And, of course, Lean Impact Nutrition.
And we are working on a new sponsor, and we'll have hopefully some news next week.
Yeah, announcement upcoming.
Announcement upcoming. Yeah. But anyway, before we go, I want to thank everybody who's tuned in onto the stream. I don't know how many people we had on Twitch, YouTube, and the other ones. But thank you very much for listening. We appreciate all your support. And don't forget, June 16, Austen Lane is coming.
Yep, and we'll have you back. Win, lose, draw, don't give a shit.
Craig Hardy, you better be training hard, bro, because you about to get knocked out, son.
Word.
Oh, so he's doing the shit talking for you.
That's right.
Yeah, dude, he's like the hype man. I appreciate that.
He's the translator. You're like, well, it's going to be a really good fight. He said he's going to knock you the fuck out.
So
he's really respectful. He's like, he doesn't respect you at all.
And so when I get to the UFC and Joe Rogan gives me the mic, I'm going to be like, wow, hop the fence, let's go. Yeah. Speak for me.
Yes.
Let's do it, man.
Hey, you know what'll happen? The Hope Solo moment.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think so, bro.
Solo moment.
You know my name?
No, I'll talk some shit. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
Thanks.